Recording in progress.
Welcome, everyone, to Mondays with Michael. A warm welcome to all. I'm Dr. Michael Gady, your host. So glad you're with us today. A warm welcome. We have a great show planned for today, and we're streaming to several different platforms. So if you'd like to introduce yourself and anything you'd like to share with the group, don't be shy. You can put that right in to the comments or chat on whatever platform you are on. So we've got a packed show today. We have three guests with us today, wonderful folks who I'm really looking forward to being in conversation with. Those of you who are familiar with the show, you know we're devoted to two general subjects here of natural health and health freedom. And today we're doing both. We're going to be exploring both subjects today of first natural health and then getting a bit more into the health freedom side of things. This is an offering of the Gata Institute for Holistic Health Education. Our motto here, as with the Clinic for Chinese and Functional Medicine, is nature first, drugs last. Nothing wrong with pharma drugs, they're just ridiculously overused, and there is a natural solution, at least kind of conservative estimate here, 95% of the time. So welcome to show number 326 for this July 27th. As some of you know, we began on March 18th, I believe, or March 20th, March 18th of 2020 in the early months of the pandemic. And we are still here, and it's great to be with you. So today we have a wonderful show. We have three marvelous guests with us today. Many of you know and love one of our most popular faculty here at the school, Charlotte Keikel, is a good friend and wonderful practitioner, herbalist, and author. We're going to introduce her first. And then we are going to hear from a new guest to the show, Mr. Curtis Cost. And then we're going to end with a bang with Richard Hirschman showing us some fairly disturbing images as a mortician of all kinds of crazy stuff being found on autopsy or whatever his procedures are. So just a couple of announcements. We are right in the middle of a new course for us here at the school. We're launching one new course every month. And we are right in the middle of a natural functional approach to fertility. We are in the middle of the course. Welcome to join us and learn from the recordings. Use your discount code as our thank you for being on the show, attending MWM10. Taught by one of the top guys on the planet in hormone testing and restoration, Dr. Mark Rhodes and myself. And then we are coming up in just a couple of weeks to our 7th annual Herbal Summer School 2026. This year's topic, Therapeutic Botanical Protocols. And we are joined by the constant faculty member, Charlotte Keichel, and I've been doing this for 7 years. And then Dustin Strong is with us again, and a new teacher, one of the top herbal teachers and authors in the world, Donnie Yance. We're super excited about that. So that's August 14th and 15th. And please join us for that. There's an early bird, big tuition discount going on right now. And then you can add your podcast discount of MWM10 to that as well. Also, we were about a month away from our 11th annual practitioner retreat here in Colorado. It's going to be fabulous. Also featuring Charlotte and her amazing husband. And we are returning by popular demand to the Sunrise Ranch Conference and Retreat Center and Organic Farm and Regenerative Ranch here in Colorado on 440 beautiful acres here in the foothills of the Rockies. So please join us for Love, Serve, and Succeed, our 11th annual Colorado retreat. So first up today, we are delighted to have back with us the wonderful, amazing, incredible, fabulous Charlotte Keichel. She is an author of a wonderful book that I really like, Eat in Peace to Live in Peace, Your Handbook for Vitality. And she's also going to tell us today she's got a new book cooking, and she's going to give us the update on that. She's an herbalist, a nutritionist, a master's degree herbal graduate. She is also a certified electromagnetic radiation specialist, had the honor of being one of her test houses for her and her husband, Glenn, as they were earning their certifications. I got bringing all kinds of doodads and checking out the house and all of that. It's pretty cool. And she is a Gate Institute faculty member, part of about 10 courses here at the school. You can find out about her practice and work and get her book at charlottekeichel.com. She also has a wonderful blog as well. So let's give a warm Mondays with Michael welcome back to Charlotte Keichel. Charlotte, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Michael. Always great to see you.
Big ditto on that.
Yeah.
So what's the update? How are things in Mexico? And oh, there he is. There's the big guy.
Yeah, do you want to say hi, Glenn? You're live.
Hey, Glenn.
Hi, Glenn. Hi, Glenn.
You can look down on the camera. There you go.
So far, so good.
I wouldn't worry about it. She's going to invoice me.
Oh, really?
Okay, I love you.
See you real soon there, Michael.
There you go, Glenn. Looking forward to it.
All right. Take care, y'all.
All right. Take care. Well, that's
sorry, he's got to pick up Drake, and we need to pay for something. So
sure. Well, it's a live show and stuff happens. Like just life happens. It's
there you go. Like I need to lock my office door, apparently.
A little sign, on air. Yeah, the lit up LED on air sign.
Right. It would need to be lit up because I do have a sign, but nobody looks at it.
Well, there you go. Well, good. So what's the update here in Santa Fe and your practice and the upcoming book and what's the update?
Gosh, just cruising along. I just got back from a conference in Oklahoma with one of my German new medicine teachers that lives in Croatia. And that was fascinating. So, and we're just so lucky. Like you have your saying of nature first, drugs last, right? I mean,
it's a thing.
These tools are designed to work with our bodies, not against us. And no matter what layer of study I'm putting into it, it's always a base note. of,
Mm,
real food and whole plants
yeah.
and let nature do the work.
Yes. Yes. Well, I'm glad you're doing that
Yeah.
and continue. I know that's been a very exciting avenue of study for you.
Yeah, it
You had
has. And I love that you put happy digestion down because one of the nuggets that I wanted to share today was that in order to have happy digestion, right,
yeah. Yeah.
we need to be happy,
Yes. That was intentional, by the way.
right? And so, yeah, I mean, everything's a metaphor for life,
Mm, yes.
and like we look at life, right? And we think it's happening to us and
Mm.
it's happening for us, and our bodies are the same way.
And through us.
Yes, and through us.
And
But we're
as.
meant to keep evolving and keep learning. And I think that people, when they show up in our offices with a digestive complaint,
Mm,
since that's the focus, right? Something's
yeah.
stuck.
Yep. That's right.
Something's stuck. And yeah, I mean, herbs can help unstick us, but we still have to do like the personal work.
Yes. Yes, for sure. So yeah,
Yeah.
we start the retreat with I am life appearing as, and then we say our name. So there's something about
Oh,
life not just happening to us, that's kind of the basic thing, but through us and as us. So life appearing in the world, something larger appearing in the world because we live, and differentiating that in our own unique creative way. So how does that relate to digestion, Shirley? I know you've seen a lot of digestive patients over the years and seen some patterns, and you had your own personal experience back along the way.
absolutely.
So what have you learned about this subject, things that our listeners can apply and learn from today?
Well, part of my message would be a bit of a broken record in
Yeah,
that,
sure.
good digestion starts with the state of our minds, as I was just
Mm,
saying, right?
hmm.
So sometimes you don't need a digestive herb.
Right?
Sometimes you need a new perspective, and
Mm,
a classification of herbs that allows for that are our adaptogens and our nervines,
hmm.
right?
So
We
for
don't
folks who
think
are
of
less,
those. uh,
well, for folks who are less familiar, what's an adaptogen and what's a nervine?
Yeah, so, digestion really starts not in our mouths. Most people say it starts in our mouths, right?
Right.
It doesn't even start with smell and sight of food. It
Mm,
starts with where is our nervous system at? So, nervines are herbs that relax the nervous system.
hmm.
And what we're looking to activate is the vagus nerve, right?
Yes.
So the vagus nerve is a cranial nerve, and it's not coming from the spinal cord, right? It's coming from our actual brain tissue
Hmm. Okay.
and sending a message of digestion and restoration and relaxation throughout our body.
Yes.
So, one of the big messages in my book, Eat in Peace, is it's not as important what you're eating as how you're eating it.
Mm-hmm.
And so being with your food.
Right.
So adaptogens, so nervines and adaptogens are great partners
Mm,
because the nervine sort of scales everything down, but the adaptogen is directly affecting how our body is reacting to life and stress,
okay.
helping the hypothalamus, pituitaries, and adrenal glands respond in a less dramatic way, if you will,
Right.
where you have more emotional options and you don't necessarily lose your digestion
Right.
when life happens to us, right? And I mean, as you said, I have definitely lived this because at one point in my life, I was running a restaurant and I was
Mm.
around food all the time and I wasn't eating it and I was really
Was that
stressed
Santa Cruz?
out. That was in San Antonio, Texas, way,
Mm.
way back in the day.
Okay, sure, sure. I was
In
gonna mention.
fact, I've been reliving it a little bit. Have you watched The Bear on Hulu?
Oh, I haven't.
It's a
Is it
great
good?
show.
Is it? Okay.
Yes. I mean, Not everybody likes it, but if you have any history in the restaurant business and dysfunctional families, it is just like it's been a great way for me to sort of say goodbye to an old part of my life. I've really enjoyed it.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, so in terms of my personal experience, my nervous system and my stress response was so off base. I could feel in my body life would happen and my internal organs would just sort of shut down as my body, pushed all of its effort into my arms and my legs to
Oh, okay.
run from that imaginary tiger. And as I have herbs in my life, it doesn't even matter what I'm taking or not taking, but the herbs have like educated my body where life happens now and I don't get those feelings. Right? So I'm just in a much more balanced state, even without the nervine and the adaptogen and the bitter taste, which helps to upregulate digestion as well. Yeah. So you mentioned my next book. My next book is going to be letters of gratitude to herbs for having changed my life, because they're definitely something that can be experienced. And I love sharing that with people.
That's great. So when you think of a digestive herb, like even a bitter like gentian or feverfew, Western wormwood absinthium, Artemisia absinthium, has your experience that they affect our consciousness around food in addition to stimulating digestive juices?
God, that's a great question. I mean, I think they make us more adaptable, right? So it's this idea of hormesis. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, right?
A stress that enhances
And
resilience.
so when you take in that bitter herb, you have more saliva, you have more hydrochloric acid, you have healthier peristalsis. That's like toothpaste squeeze down the whole GI tract. You have better enzyme production, you have a healthier pancreas, better insulin, more accurate insulin production. More bile flow from the liver and the gallbladder. I mean, it's just this one taste activates like a dozen different things. And it's still, when I work with people, often the thing that's missing. That if restored, things just begin to turn back on again. And I think too that, and this is just something German New Medicine has opened me up to, is that it's not the food, right, that's making us ill. So in terms of shifting our consciousness, I think that the bitter taste, it does improve digestion, right? So if you are at a coffee shop and decide to treat yourself to a mocha or a cookie or whatever the treat may be, your body's better able to deal with that food that does not exist in nature.
Oh, okay. Hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. So I do think it changes our consciousness. And, I think life is expansion, right? Life isn't just further narrowing options and choices down. I mean, I used to not get invited over to people's houses for dinner. Because
so limited, right?
What are we going to feed Charlotte? And now, I mean, I get invitations all the time. I show up and I eat the food. And I'm happy.
Well, I'd be inviting you to my parties. We have one coming up soon.
I saw that.
When you were in Colorado, I was like, oh, sure, maybe Char can come.
We would be there. Yeah.
So Charlotte, what's one of your, for our listeners today, what's one of your favorite, I know there's a panoply of herbs. What's one of your favorites for helping people improve their digestion, whatever it is, gas, bloating, the food just sits there, something.
I absolutely love dandelion root.
Okay. Tell us.
Simply because it's accessible.
Right.
Now, I think more than it has been in terms of like different beverages.
Right.
It's great for regulating peristalsis, so it will help with both loose stools
Right?
and constipation and the
Mm.
bloating.
Mm.
And it's gentle. It's a bitter, but it's
Yeah.
a sweeter bitter.
Yes. Now,
And
folks have
yeah,
this growing in their yard, right? So, is this something that's like, is it a home remedy? Is it get some capsules at the store?
yeah, I mean, it definitely could be a home remedy. We're looking at the root.
Yes.
So the whole plant is useful, but the leaves are more for kidney support, while the root is more for digestion and liver support.
Okay. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I love the Beverage Dandy blend
Dandy blend.
just
Okay.
because it's water soluble dandelion root with a little chicory, and you just put it, you can drink it cold during the summer and hot during the winter.
Hmm.
And definitely, the only way I've seen people not get results or not like it is they don't make it strong enough, right? So the
Oh, okay.
instructions will say a teaspoon in a cup of water, but it's more like a tablespoon or two.
Oh, okay. Oh, 1 to 2 tablespoons. Okay. So is this the right thing here?
Yes.
So Dandy
Yeah,
blend.
that's it. That's Dandy Blend. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, great. I've got the link in the
Pretty easy
chat.
to get now. I think Natural Grocers carries it, like, in the grocery store if somebody just needs to run down and get something.
Fabulous.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, interesting. So
My
this is a
friends,
blend. So barley, rye, dandelion, and chicory all together.
yep, yep.
Okay. That's the blend part. Okay.
Yeah, and Mandy's right. Ticino is a good one too. It can just be a little bit fussier. I like the fact that the Dandy blend is water soluble, but Ticino is good. You just, as far as I know, you need to steep it.
So wait, Dandy blend is a powder
Yes,
and you just stir it in water and drink it?
yes,
Kind of like matcha?
absolutely.
Oh,
But
sweet.
even more like water soluble than matcha. Like it literally,
Oh,
and
fabulous.
I use Dandy blend. I'll make Dandy blend ice cream.
Oh, really? Wow.
It's like a coffee caramel flavor. It's delicious.
Oh, okay.
I'll make Dandy blend cheesecake.
Wow. Amazing.
I have a cheesecake
You're just
recipe
dandy
where you
blending all the
just,
time. This is great.
I mean, why
I love it.
not, right?
Why
Like,
Why not? I like it. That's great. That's great.
yeah,
Okay. Well, that's good. So
yeah.
dandelion
It's a
root.
good ally.
And just as a for instance, if folks just had this stuff in their backyard and they wanted to use it
Yeah.
as a digestive, how would that work?
Well, gosh, so with the fresh root,
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, you could make you could make a homemade extract where you would basically clean off the root and chop it up.
Right.
And the way my teacher taught me how to make fresh plant medicine, and this is where a lot of people goof up, is that you don't add water to that extraction because the water's in the root. So the water's already in the fresh plant.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So you just, I mean, if you want to be really like backyard herbal medicine about it, you would harvest the root, clean it, chop it up, and take a jar and just squish the root down in there.
Okay.
And then pour Everclear on top of it and just let it sit.
Oh, interesting. What's Everclear?
Everclear is like the highest alcohol content thing you can buy at a liquor store.
Okay.
So some people might be more inclined to use vodka or brandy, but that's going to have a specific amount of water in it, right? It's not at the over 90% alcohol content.
Okay. Okay. And so you're just soaking the the chopped up root in a jar with Everclear.
Yes.
Okay.
That's just like rough and dirty
Yeah,
way to
right,
do it.
right, right. Okay. All right. And how long does that soak in there?
Um, well, I mean, I give it a moon cycle. If you're going to
Oh,
be
okay.
making your own stuff, what you want to
Okay.
do is harvest it on the new moon and
Okay.
press out your tincture on the full moon.
Wow. That's
So the
fabulous.
full moon is pulling. We know it pulls babies out, right? A lot of babies
Yep.
are born on the full moon.
Right.
It'll do the same with your medicine and your dandelion root.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we have
Yeah.
our, that's a great tip, dandelion root and all its various forms. So we're getting the band together again, which is you and I, for Herbal Summer School. And we have a great program. And you are going to be talking about digestion. So tell folks about this is Eat Your Medicine class as part of this year's symposium. Tell us about what folks are going to learn this year.
Well, I think you'll just walk away with some really practical tools for what to do in your home when digestion is, showing itself, right? I mean, all of these parasympathetic activities, breathing, heartbeat, digestion, we don't really want to feel.
Yes.
So when you start feeling your body in that way, what plant can help normalize that function again?
Yes. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So we'll be looking at everything from the mouth down to the very finale.
Oh, awesome. That's great. Top to bottom. That's excellent. And then finally, Charlotte, just tell us about how's the book coming along?
The book is coming. In fact, if anybody,
Great.
everybody knows someone, right? Like the book is practically done. I just
Oh,
have the
awesome.
personal hurdle of I'm just not techie.
Sure,
And
sure.
so when I wrote this book, Eat in Peace to Live in Peace, I had a lot of, let's say, money to play with. And
Sure.
now I'm trying to do it more efficiently. And I just
Sure.
need somebody to put it in a document so that
Yep.
somebody can upload it to, I'll use Amazon again because
Yep.
as much as there's a shadow side to these,
Yeah.
big entities, they do make things possible, like self-publishing a
do.
book.
They do.
And if anybody knows anybody who could do that,
Yeah, the
shoot me an
post-production.
email.
Get it over the finish line. That's great.
Yeah,
Well,
I got to
be
get
well
it.
done on sounds like most of the content is done. That's awesome. I know
It
you're working on it
is.
for a
It
while.
is. Yeah.
And then this is very much in keeping with what we're talking about today. Eat in Peace to Live in Peace, your handbook for vitality. Wonderful book. And
Thank
anything you
you.
want to tell folks about this?
Yeah, I mean, I think that as I started off speaking today, right, life is happening for us, not to us.
That's right.
And, the German New Medicine has definitely been a layer of understanding that I have in my life now, and I'm very grateful for that. So the book is a little bit more restrictive than I would write now in terms
Sure,
of,
sure.
getting to the healings,
Yeah.
but still has a ton of great recipes and
Oh,
good
it's a great
story
book.
and
And just
good
the
tips.
perspective on healing one's
Yeah.
relationship with food. I found
Absolutely.
I found that very helpful.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Excellent.
Food, sex, sleep, and money, right? Those are the things that
There you go.
hook us when we're not getting them.
Yes, yes, that's right. Well, great. Thank you, Charlotte. Folks, charlottekeikel.com. And if you go
Yeah.
to michaelgated.com, click on courses and join us for Herbal Summer School 2026, our 7th annual with Charlotte and myself. And I'll show you, if you go to our homepage, michaelgated.com, for the clinic and the school, I want to just give you where to find all things Charlotte other than charlottekeikel.com. If you go to over here at the home page, you'll see under About, it'll say your faculty. And there Charlotte is right on our faculty page. And if you click on her shining face, you'll see some of the courses that she is has offered for us. So we've got a bunch more to add to that list, but we'll do that. Excellent. Well, thank you, Charlotte. So good to be with you. We've got let's see. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, we've got a question here. Yeah, we could jump on that if you like, if you have a moment.
Absolutely.
Richard's a regular, all in Texas, I believe. Herbs to treat, not take ashwagandha for thyroid, keep a high activity of the immune. That's completely inaccurate. But I love your take on that. Ashwagandha is a Withania somnifera, so it's a calming adaptogen tonic and blood tonic that supports optimal thyroid function, but also calms the nervous system and improves sleep. So anyway, I don't know if you have any ideas on that.
Absolutely. No, I think that because the medical system tries to boil everything down to one thing,
Oh, right.
right? They
That's
do the
right.
same thing with
Reductionism.
echinacea, right?
Yes,
Like
yes.
herbs, they're just rarely, I mean,
They don't overdo things.
coffee. We know coffee's an herb. Coffee is it's stimulating. Like I
Yes.
mean, for most people, I do know a handful of people that drink coffee and they get tired, and you're always going to have these little
Yeah.
black swan kind of like the one thing that doesn't fit. But anytime I see somebody say that an herb is stimulating, they
Yeah.
usually work both ways because they're working with the wisdom of the body. So if something
Exactly.
needs to be stimulated, it comes up to normal. And
Hmm.
if something needs to be calmed down, that's called amphoteric activity.
Hmm.
It normalizes function.
Mhm.
And I'm not out to, paint herbs as some sort of innocuous
Right. Right.
thing, but
Sure.
I
They're pretty
mean,
safe.
yeah, ashwagandha is literally for the thyroid. Yeah, like it's in MediHerb's thyroid formula.
Yeah, it is.
Like, good luck arguing with Carrie Bone.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah. And
Hopefully
can I
that
just
helps.
say one more thing?
Please.
Is that in terms of my presentations that I give for Michael and Beyond, newsletters I write,
Yeah.
AI will never be a part of that equation.
Yeah, right. Amen.
I just a couple of weeks ago attended a course where one of the teachers used AI for herbal notes and homeopathic notes, and I threw away. I mean, it was just inaccurate
Oh, wow.
information.
You know, it's a
So,
good point.
yeah.
I ran a couple of patients through Grok, and it got some things right, and one patient was like, "Oh, I hadn't thought of that." But then, a couple of times I'm like, it got everything wrong. I mean, it was a mess. I mean, I say, "Hey, what do you think of these labs?" And it was like talking about, as if it was talking about a completely different person. It was like, that's not what the labs say at all. So it's a little difficult. Got Dr. Google is now Dr. ChatGPT, and it's a little problematic.
It it is. And people are already inundated with enough. Like we've too much information and then it's not accurate. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just very grateful that Michael has the teachers that he has, me included,
Yep.
for just being, am I wrong sometimes? I'm okay with that. Sure, I'm willing to learn,
Yep.
but at least what you're getting is authentic lived experience,
It
not
is. It is.
something from, I don't know what to say about
I
that.
don't know, right?
I don't know. I literally do not go to the internet for information on herbs. I go to my
Yeah.
books, I call
There
a
you go.
person, like
That's
it's
right.
just
There you go.
too inaccurate. Yeah.
Yep. I like it. Charlotte, thanks for being with
Okay.
us. And, look forward. And Charlotte's going to be joining us also at our annual retreat. Yay. And she and her wonderful husband, Glenn, who made a spontaneous cameo earlier, is a real business whiz for helping practitioners be successful. He's done that with thousands of practitioners over the years. And so Charlotte will be with us for Herbal Summer School, August 14th and 15th. And just a few days later, the next week, I think, 26th to 30th, 2 weeks later, for our annual Colorado retreat. So please join us for that. Charlotte, you're awesome. Thank you very much for being
Thank
here.
you, Michael. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, excellent. Oh, and Richard, other question was too many supplements. Like, what does that mean? You know, that's just, it's you know, it's a meaningless statement because too many supplements for who, and what are those supplements? So I have some patients on, you know, just a few formulas for basic maintenance, and other folks who are very ill need a fairly aggressive protocol. So, you know, too many is a meaningless term that Mercola was talking about. And what are they? Are they synthetic? Are they made by Pfizer in a lab from coal tar or petroleum, or genetically modified corn syrup? Or are they made of food and plants? So it's, yeah, I mean, I don't know what he was talking about. He's had his own evolution. When he first started publishing, I was one of his early followers decades ago. And he's like, hey, I'm a marathoner, don't take supplements, you don't need them, just eat food. And then he had this massive shift to, you know, carrying lots of supplements, private branded supplements, promoting those, which I don't fault him for. But I'm just pointing out, it was a massive shift in his, you know, thinking and what he was sharing with people, which is fine. I mean, I'm not thinking the same things I used to think. You know, I've evolved a lot as well over the years. So, but it's a meaningless statement, you know, too many supplements. Like, what are you talking about? And what are they? You know, when you're combining synthetics with synthetics, your likelihood for bad reactions is much greater uh, as compared to, you know, taking foods and plants and combining them with foods and plants. So I'm not exactly sure what he said or what he was referring to or what the context was, or I don't really know. But in general, you know, and that's the art of what we do here, you know, practitioners like me and in our school, our students who are practitioners largely, but health conscious public too, is, you know, getting good at that and prioritizing, triage, staging. What are we doing now? What are we going to do in 2 months? There's a whole art as well as science, you know, to the art of, I don't want to say prescribing, but recommending. So thanks, Richard. Great questions. Appreciate that. All right. Well, wonderful. And so we are going to introduce our next guest who's new to the show. We are delighted to have him with us today. And so let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Curtis Cost. He is a journalist. He is the author of Vaccines Are Dangerous, now in its second edition. He's going to tell us about that. He's co-producer of a film called Medical Racism. He is a health freedom advocate. He publishes regularly on Substack, and his website is Vaccines Are Dangerous. Certainly consistent with what we've been saying here for the last several years, and my own teaching on the subject nationally for the last close to 30 years, certainly 25. Has been consistent with that. And now we have, you know, lots of evidence to that end. So whatever platform you're on, if you want to just type in the chat, let's give a warm welcome to Curtis Cost. Curtis, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you very much for having me on. It's a real honor.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
So Curtis, you went to one of the top business schools in the country at Northwestern. I'm kind of wildly guessing that you went to business school for a reason other than becoming a health
Yeah.
freedom advocate, blowing the whistle on vaccine danger. So for
Mhm.
folks who are less familiar with you and your work, if you just tell us a little bit about your story and how you came to be doing the work you're doing now.
Sure. Well, when I went away to school, started with high school in Minnesota
Yeah.
and later at Vassar College where I got my bachelor's degree in political science. And certainly when I went to Northwestern College School of Management, I had no intention of fighting the system. And that was the
Right.
last thing on my mind. In fact, I was sort of teased about being too conservative, but hey, it was the environment that I was in. And over time, I did work in other things in corporate America and things, but I came across material that was challenging what I thought I knew. I remember I was working on a book on HIV and AIDS, and in the process of doing that, one of the books I read was AIDS End of Civilization by Dr. William Campbell Douglas. And in that book, he had one chapter talking about vaccines.
Right.
And in that chapter, he talked about how vaccines were dangerous and they didn't work and were unnecessary. And I'm like, that was shocking because back then I equated vaccine, like most people, to mom's apple pie. I mean, who could see something bad against vaccines? But I was intrigued. And it just so happened by coincidence, maybe not by coincidence, maybe destiny, but shortly thereafter, I went to a holistic retreat.
Right.
And at the retreat, there was a vendor, a book vendor, who had 2 books on vaccines saying they were dangerous and unnecessary. And I was shocked. And now I've gone from just a chapter to books to 2 whole books.
Right.
Of course, I purchased them and went through them, and it was compelling, but still, I wasn't convinced.
Okay.
So I went on a massive search for years, reading everything I could get my hands on the subject of vaccines. I read countless books, countless medical journal articles, spent a lot of time in the libraries, science libraries, reading through medical journals and having a medical dictionary beside me, because I was not a scientist. I wasn't trained to do anything this scientific, but I knew how to do research. I was good at that. So,
Sure.
and after like 2 years, I became convinced that there was no justification whatsoever for vaccines. It didn't work. They were dangerous, unnecessary. And I saw it's my mission to take this information and put it into a format that the average person can understand. At that time, I was especially focused on the African American community because there had not been any books that I know of at that time of that was written by an African American.
Right.
And it was not an issue in the African American community. Nobody was talking about it in the radio shows.
Okay.
Nothing. Yeah. So there was huge information gaps. So I tried to create a book that anybody could pick up and read and understand, at the same time thoroughly referenced. And so then I wrote my first book, Vaccines Are Dangerous, which came out in 1991. And from there on, I just continued in that process of trying to inform people, learning more and more things. The more I learned, the more shocking the whole picture seemed to me. And I'll stop there in the questions. But so that gives you a little background on what got me into this.
Yeah. So, I mean, is that something you've, so you've published this one? This is certainly one of the early books. There have been quite a few books, and I know you've revised yours. And what have you learned that is beyond what you initially thought? How has your thinking evolved over the years in writing the first book and then the revision, the second edition?
Sure. One of the things that was most striking to me was the fact that despite popular opinion or mythology, vaccines did not save the world from diseases. Go back, and I went back to the medical journals and went to the microfiche in libraries. There was all this information was not available in current medical journals. You have to go to the microfiche. And what I found was that if you go back to the early 1900s, most of the diseases that we were told were so bad, childhood diseases, mumps, things like that, one of the very minor diseases. They weren't these death sentences that they try to make it out to be. More importantly, the incidence of these diseases dropped dramatically from the early 1900s going into the 50s, 60s, and so forth.
Right.
And there was, in some cases, as much as a 90% decline, for example, in measles, before the measles mumps rubella vaccine came on the market. 90%. And you got to ask them, well, why? How can you have this kind of decline? And whatever was going on, why wouldn't you just do more of it? But the fact is, the fact that the disease was already declining, The medical system doesn't want to focus on that. They want to focus on the decline that took place after the respective vaccines came on the market. Now, if something's already going down like this, the fact that it continues on doesn't mean that you've done something different. This means it's a continuation of the trend. And what the research shows is that this country went through a real process of improvements in sanitation and improvements in nutrition. Sanitation, that is more sewage processing plants, more water treatment systems. So the environment just became cleaner as we had sewer system sanitation and things of that nature. And also people were eating healthier as more roads were built and railroads, fresh fruits and vegetables get into the cities more, and people were eating healthier. So improvements in sanitation, nutrition would account for that massive decline. It had nothing to do with the vaccines. And in fact, the vaccines actually made things much worse because when you take a vaccine, you're at greater, you got some of these charts. Yeah, very good.
Well, it's a good point, Curtis. I mean, this whole idea that, as you brought up, vaccines have saved humanity, they've saved millions of lives. It's really that's not based on data. That's more like propaganda.
Yes, but they still continue to push that.
Yep.
And and then I guess we'll get into other vaccines actually increase your risk of getting the same disease that you're trying to protect against. I mean, people take the measles vaccine or the diphtheria, have greater chance of getting those same diseases, plus a long list of other diseases. And no, the vaccines did not save the world. Just simple, I love you're saying we'll start using it. I think it's nature first, drugs last.
Drugs last. Yeah, that's right.
That's consistent with everything that I've read. In fact, I found interesting that no other creature on Earth needs vaccines other than humans and domesticated animals. Elephants, giraffes, pigeons, roaches, they don't need any vaccine. They do just fine. But us, back with humans, and of course our domesticated
Get that animals. Roach vaccine.
Yeah. Sorry.
Make sure you vaccinate that roach.
It's ludicrous. Everything else is fine except the domesticated animals. And I tell you, it really concerns me a lot. All the vaccines are given to household pets, cats and dogs and stuff, because I know how bad the vaccines are that they're given to humans. Haven't helped what they might be putting into the vaccine for those animals. And who knows what's being transmitted from the animal to humans. I mean, there's any studies like that, but I know there's certain vaccines that have transmitted to from one person to the next. And the vaccines they give to these pets are just scary. In terms of what things that I've seen over time and learned, I mean, over time, I started working with Mr. Kennedy in Children's Self-Defense. And it was very enlightening. I mean, God, I was so thrilled to actually meet Mr. Kennedy, especially for the first time. Like, the Kennedy family, I studied that when I was in school. I was a political science major. And to actually see Kennedy in the flesh, I'm like, oh, man. And he did another service to the public, because I think there's been a long lingering feelings of sadness, regret, things, and depression over the death of John F. Kennedy, his uncle, and Robert F. Kennedy, and him coming out and interacting with the public and speaking to actually see Kennedy. It was, for me, it was such a boost of morale. And his presentation was absolutely brilliant. I mean, geez, I'm a pretty good researcher, but Mr. Kennedy, he's on another level of intensity. So that was really good. I got to work with him on a lot of projects. He invited me to be a producer on the film of Medical Racism, which I did, and it was good, well received. And I did a lot of forums and interviews with him, and it was great. But one of the things I will say is that the overall awareness of the public about the dangers of vaccines, especially the COVID shot, has increased dramatically, more so over the past 5-6 years than it has over the previous 30 years. Because when I came out with my book, there was no vaccine movement back then, and a lot of people thought I was crazy. But yeah, but a lot of people, when they finally got on the radio shows and things.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Just how has your work been received over the years, and has that changed?
Well, the people who've actually read my book, or actually heard me at least, I've been praised. I mean, people are shocked. I have so many times when I've given lectures in different parts of the country, parents will come up to me and they just want to hug me and thank me, because they all say the same thing. Because of me and them didn't read my book, do their own research, decided to not vaccinate their kids. In every case, the kids were healthy, strong, rarely ever got sick. And they also said the same thing, that all the neighbors' kids who did get the vaccines, they're the ones suffering respiratory problems, autism, ADHD, and all kinds of other things. And so that's made me feel really good that I've done something that's really changed people's lives. And because of Mr. Kennedy and let's do it myself, we've been able to get the word out through the media, and now we got millions of people who are aware. We have lots of groups around the country fighting against the mandatory vaccines and increasing awareness. So it's been a major, major shift, and it's been really magical too. There's so many people from different backgrounds have come together around this issue. For example, I organized the Harlem Vaccine Forum back in 2019. And that caused a lot of controversy. I was shocked, because I'd worked for years with Mr. Al Sharpton with his organization. And I've organized all kinds of what should have been really controversial forums, including 2 previous forums on vaccines. And never the controversy that I had when I was trying to bring Mr. Kennedy and Al Sharpton together on this issue in one big forum. The system did not want, that's the last thing they wanted, Kennedy and Sharpton together against vaccines. So they were attacking Al Sharpton and me and the whole effort. And they would say that we're going to cause an outbreak of disease in Harlem just by having a forum discussing vaccines. Yeah, and the thing is,
yeah, I grew up in New York City, and I grew up, just seeing Al Sharpton in the news all the time. What is his attitude in general towards vaccination, since you know him?
Well, I was about to say that all the people who were criticizing what I was doing, because it's going to be at Al Sharpton's headquarters in Harlem. What they didn't know is that I'd already done 2 other vaccine forums for Al Sharpton, and there was never an outbreak of disease. Nobody started dying as a result of a forum that I did. Well, I increased his awareness, definitely. In fact, long before I did this forum, I gave him a copy of my book. You showed it a moment ago.
Oh, there you go.
Vaccines are dangerous. Yeah. And I asked him if he could review it and give it an endorsement. And I remember he said he loved the book. He thought it was fantastic and things. But we never, we didn't come together with the making the forum happen the way I wanted to with Bobby Kennedy, because he was under a lot of pressure. He knew the issues, because anybody reads my book, they understand the issues.
But he caught some heat for being associated with the vaccine issue and with Bobby.
Yes. And there was rumors that he was being threatened. His position with NBC was being threatened.
Really?
If he didn't stop. Yep. That was the rumors that were going around. And he did something I never saw him do before. Like a few days before the forum was supposed to take place, he canceled it. In fact, he did. Yeah, he didn't do it. I mean, he knew me. I've been in his office many times and everything. He could just call me in his office, Curtis, I changed my mind for whatever reason. I mean, he's the boss, it's his organization. He didn't do that. He had his second in command call me and said, Curtis, Sharpton says that he wants you to find 4 scientists or doctors to include on your panel. We already had the panel put together, like 15 people working on this thing. I got all the approvals, everything, all the rigmaroles had to go through. And now, a few days later, he wants me to add 4 more scientists or doctors, and they all had to agree the vaccines were safe. So, and here's the insult on top of injury. I had 1 hour to do it in. Well,
Mm.
I can't even see my own doctor in 1 hour. How in the hell am I going to put all these doctors together
Right.
for a forum in 1 hour? So basically, he was saying no, but
Yep.
he create the illusion like he was doing something that was fair.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, so but fortunately, Mr. Kennedy said that he was not going to be censored. And so he gave instructions for us to find a location, which we did, which was the Riverside Church in Harlem, which is
Right.
actually a very beautiful location. That place was like a castle, Riverside Church.
Okay.
It was a much more exciting venue. And we knew we were under attack. And so to try to prevent them from doing something to stop it, we decided to not release the exact location and time until the day before the event.
Oh,
So nobody knew where it was going to be, so they couldn't do anything to really, or I thought they couldn't do anything to stop it. But
so when was this, Curtis, that this all went down?
this was in the fall of
Okay.
in the fall of 2019, and that date
Okay.
is important. Also,
Yep.
I later realized early 2019.
Right.
Because actually, probably like the spring, summer, actually, if I remember.
Okay.
correctly. Yeah, because I remember the weather was kind of warm. In any event, so we did release the location until like 7 o'clock the night before the event.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we figured that
Wow.
they couldn't stop us. But, well, to begin with, the event was miraculous. I mean, you had everybody there. You had black, white, rich, poor, Democrat, Republican, Hispanic, Asian, everything.
Sure.
And it was standing room only, and everybody was in sync. We had great speakers. We had Dr. Pilepsky, John Gilmore, and many others.
Great.
There, Mary Holland, who also worked for.
Oh, sure.
Who worked for
Yeah,
CHD.
they've both been on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, and everything was great. I mean, it was like a moment from the '60s. I think we came closer to like singing "Kumbaya" and holding hands. It was so fantastic.
Sure.
And finally, after going through all the speakers, then Mr. Kennedy spoke, and then things changed. I mean, he was doing great. People were applauding and cheering, and I got to meet with him for the second time.
Right.
And like 15 minutes in, the church decided to shut down the event.
Really?
Yeah. First they said that that you were out of time. No, we were out of time. We had another hour left for our event. And Mr. Kennedy on the microphone, everybody heard him. Glad he did this. He said, "Well, if we're out of time, we'll pay for extra time." Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So I asked, okay, everybody heard him on the speaker. Actually, he turned off his microphone shortly thereafter. Turned off his microphone.
Wow.
But he got that information out. I said, please turn everything on. Let's keep going. And we're waiting and waiting. And then a woman comes out and said, "This event is over. The place is too crowded." So now it's been that way from the beginning. And they had no problem. In fact, our people would ask, "You want us to have some people leave?" I said, No. They went to Mr. Kennedy, go on. That's when all of a sudden they have to shut everything down. And even with that, people say, "Look, we'll leave. A lot of us will leave to get to whatever number you want." Nope. Sure. They want it. Man, oh man, trying to hold that pandemonium together.
What a scene.
Oh God, I felt so bad. And Mr. Kennedy had flown in to be at this event. And then all of this happening was just shocking to me. I'm trying to keep everything calm. But Mr. Kennedy and the magic of the Kennedy family, he turned it around. He went outside of the church, got on a stool, somebody got a blowhorn for him, and he started speaking from there. And it was people in cars were stopping. Wait a minute, Kennedy is in Harlem. It was like, and then on top of that, a rainbow came out. So everybody took that as a positive omen, and so it worked really well. And shortly after that, that's when I began work for Children's Health Defense, his organization. Now that date that I told you about, the year 2019, I didn't realize it until much later. We were trying to do this event just before they came up with this whole COVID scenario. And last thing they wanted was Bobby Kennedy, Al Sharpton questioning what the public was being told about COVID.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm sure you know about the whole COVID hoax.
Yep,
And yeah,
sure.
so that's why they really came after us, me and Sharpton and Bobby so hard. But yeah, and then shortly after that, I did another one. I was reluctant, but I gave in to the pressures. I did a forum called the Great Harlem Vaccine Debate. It was the first public debate for the general public. And that, in fact, Mr. Kennedy, we were doing a TV show together, and I mentioned the debate that was coming up. He said, Curtis, I'll bet you $10 you won't be able to do it. And of course, yeah, I said, I was caught off guard. I said, well, no, anything you say, Mr. Kennedy, I don't want to disagree with you. But then I realized I was on TV, and I said, okay, yeah, I said, Mr. Kennedy, okay, I'll accept your challenge. And because I had the mechanism in place, he didn't know that, but I had a contact who knew the owner of that place. So they weren't going to do what the church did to us. But I had to tell him that, and I put together other precautions. So we had Del Bigtree and packed audience in the theater in Harlem, and
oh wow,
yeah, it was great. The debate was just fantastic with doctors, scientists, and others. Yeah, so it was a great event. But the thing about it was that, again, all this was just before 2020, and it caught all of us off guard because this whole COVID situation. And as I'm sure you know, no COVID virus was ever isolated nor proven to exist or any of that. And then the COVID test was bogus, as I'm sure you know. And we probably might get into that. I don't know, whatever you want to do. But
yeah. Well, I did want to ask you, you had done quite a bit. Are you still in New York?
Yes, I'm in New York.
Okay. Yeah, I grew up in Queens. You had done quite a bit of work on this whole issue with quarantine camps and during the COVID time, and there was a lot of talk about that, of forcing people into these quarantine camps. What happened with that, and what's kind of current status going forward?
I was told you do your research on gas. I'm surprised you really do. Yes, on top of everything else, here in New York State, Governor Hochul and Attorney General Letitia James and other forces were trying to create Chinese-style quarantine camps here in New York. And that is basically locking people up for no reason whatsoever. And the guidelines were such that they didn't have to prove you had COVID. In fact, there was a list of other things, and some of them weren't even contagious. And all they got to do is say you have it. They don't have to prove it. They don't have to test you, nothing. And that's enough to grab you from your home, off the street, any age, it could be your grandmother, your children, or the whole family, and throw them into your quarantine camps. And it was amazing when I and others would try and tell people about this. He thought we were crazy. What, New York? Quarantine camps? How is that possible?
Right.
But we had the legislation that they were trying to do to pull this off. In fact, they weren't even going through the real legislative process. They were trying to add it on to another bill instead of creating a bill that's already out. To create a bill to put out there that the legislature can vote on.
Strategy,
and so one of the lead attorneys on this was Bobby Ann Cox, and I saw her speak at a rally in Albany. I said, wow, she knows her stuff. And so I started promoting her through my connections and things, and work with other groups in children's health defense. We started doing lots of forums on these quarantine camps. We started putting out flyers, having rallies in the communities. We even rallied several times right in front of Letitia James's office in Harlem, at the Harlem City Office Building. So in fact, everybody we talked to, the people who were handing flyers, they were shocked. They saw that from the references on the flyers that it was serious. And we gave websites, and people were dumbfounded. And the first case first time that we went to court, Bobby Ann won the case. The ruling was in our favor. That is, not to allow this to go through. And then she had to go back to court because they appealed it. And there they said that the plaintiffs, like the senators who signed on to the case, they didn't have grounding, footing. I forget the term. Standing. They didn't have standing. So basically said that there's no legal right for them to file this complaint, which is ludicrous. How can the people approving bills and writing bills not have standing in a case that's challenging laws that are already put? We already have laws. If a person is through a true health, there's already laws on the books, but they have legal protections. This stuff they're trying to pass, no legal protections whatever. Once they throw you in, they keep there indefinitely. There's no requirements for court dates, nothing. And when you're in there in that system, you would have to eat whatever they wanted you to eat. Whatever you want to drink, you have to drink it. And whatever medications they want you to take, you have to take them.
Wow.
And God knows what would happen to you with doing that. And I did.
So what happened?
Well, once they said we had no standing, we then filed a lawsuit with the highest court. I think it's the circuit court. Don't hold me to that. I forget. But Bobby Ann is very, very sharp. It's a brilliant woman.
Sure.
Yeah, and in a way, she was like me because this wasn't going out the quarantine camps was not her specialty. She dealt with real estate things, but she saw how serious this was. And
wait, who was this again?
Attorney Bobby Ann Cox.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so she was well prepared. Even CHD, they even did mock trial sessions to sharpen her, seeing the weaknesses in her presentation. So she was ready for them, but they chickened out. They refused to hear the case. They just refused, the judges, and so that's where it stood. So they could try and impose this, but I don't think they want to do that right now, especially with primaries and everything else coming up. So that's where we're left. We put up a great fight, and
I so think did it pass? Is it law? What might?
Well, they would have. They can. There's something about expiration dates when it has to be renewed, and that, from my knowledge, has not happened. But they could pursue that at any time.
Oh.
And right now, I don't know what we could do if they do, but we worked really hard at it.
Is there a law on the books, at least in New York, about that?
Well, not related to what they tried to do, but there is laws, guidelines on quarantining people. So somebody has a bubonic plague or something, and they're mingling in the general public, well, they could do something, but there's legal steps that have to be followed. But they were trying to put forth, there are no legal steps. All they got to do is point, accuse, and that's it. They could take you in. And
And is that the current law?
No. If somebody is really sick with something that's very contagious, they have to be first proven to have something.
Right.
Under what Kathy Hochul and Alicia James wanted to put forth, there's no proof needed for anything. They don't have to be tested. There's no proof required. Just point and accuse and then snatch them. And that's like in China. I did some videos on my Substack, several on the whole quarantine issue. And it wasn't just here. I mean, in different parts of the world, they were trying to do the same thing. I had a woman who was a part of Children's Self-Defense in South Africa, and we did a show together along with Bobby Ann Cox about this and the similarities of how they were going about imposing this on people. It was monumental. It was scary. And I mean, the whole COVID situation just seemed like something out of the Twilight Zone. And then they got the quarantine camps. It was just, you got, that's my Substack. I did a recent forum with some Black women who were long-standing holistic practitioners. Have been helping people for decades improve their health through nutrition and herbal treatments and detoxing, things of that nature. And if you continue scrolling down, you'll find some of the forums I did on the quarantine camp issue. And yeah, you see that's my new book that came out. It just came out. Totally different from my other books. It's Search for a Good Black Woman. That's a romantic comedy. Yeah, entirely different.
Sure.
But further down, if you want to keep scrolling, whatever. Yeah, we did all these forums, and we were waking the people up. One where people were becoming aware about what Attorney General Letitia James was trying to do, along with the governor. And so it was a monumental effort, and in a sense we won, because they're not imposing it right now. And so
to your knowledge, Curtis, and this is outside of a New York question, so it may not be your, what you know about, which is fine. But to your knowledge, are there laws on the books, either federally or at a state level somewhere, where where this kind of forced internment at a quarantine camp is the law?
To my knowledge, no. I mean, I think a lot of other states have their
not for lack of trying.
Right. They have general guidelines, but
yeah,
those guidelines protects citizen rights.
Yeah,
not what Kathy Hochul and Letitia James were trying to do. And certainly not what they were doing in China and some other places. If you ever get a chance to look at the videos that I did, I mean, I showed clips of what they were doing in China. They were going to people's apartment complex, grabbing people out of the apartment complex at midnight. Yeah. And dragging them to these quarantine camps. And it was very scary stuff.
That's what happens when you don't have a Second Amendment.
Yes. So
that wouldn't fly too well here.
One thing I did learn from this process, that the old saying that politics is local, I began to really appreciate the meaning of that, because we were able to make changes. In fact, in New York, some of the groups that I work with, we've been probably the most successful state in the country at stopping bad vaccine bills from being approved. I mean, we were up in Albany multiple times, and in front of Gustavo Rivera's office, who's chairman of the Senate Health Committee, and stopping bad. I'll give you one example. They had the New York State legislature, the Assembly had given their approval for a bill that would take away the rights of parents, essentially, to make any decisions about vaccines.
They like to do that.
Yeah, and we didn't get adequate notification. We only had a couple of days to try and respond, because then the Senate, if they voted on it and approved it, that would be it. It'd be law. And everybody in the groups that I was with, small group, but very influential in a lot of ways, were depressed. Like, what can we do? We don't have any time. And I said, this is what I think we need to do. And I said, look, we're going to go in front of Senator Gustavo Rivera's office. We're going to have the digital truck in front of his office. We're going to set up a table and hand out flyers to people, have people there with blow horns. And we're going to be going up to his office and telling them how we feel. And we're going to do that for 3 days. Man, oh man, it was unbelievable.
Really?
I mean, people were really intrigued as they were going by, and more of our people came. And people actually really started going up to his office and saying, how dare you? You want to take away our parental rights? How, people were upset. And we had this big full color image on a digital truck on all sides, posting what he was about to do, because he was the chairman. So if he brought this to a vote at that point, I mean, we could lose. And they were so upset with everything that was going on with blowhorn. How dare you? He got so scared that he issued a statement, said, we promise we will not bring this to the vote this session, which means we'll have like almost a year before they were reintroduced. It gives more time to prepare. but it worked. And now it's a standard procedure that we use to go and embarrass the representatives in front of their place of business, where their offices are. In fact, I was on the phone with an attorney out of California. I forget the name offhand, but she was telling me about the procedure that she likes to use and her group likes to use to get things done. She said, well, going the legal process, the courts, that's very expensive and time consuming, and you never know what's going to happen. Right. We find it works a lot better to go right where the person lives, in front of their home, and start having protesting and giving out flyers and blowhorns or going to the offices. I said, wait a minute, that's the same thing we've just started doing. And so East Coast and West Coast both realize what really works with, many times with these politicians. They don't want to be exposed. They're like, they're like, I hate to say roaches, rats. When you turn the lights on, they scatter. They don't want the general public, especially their immediate constituents, aware of some of the bills they want to just quietly support. Yep. And so we both found that works. And a lot of times we prefer if we can speak with the representatives, and we've been granted that. And when we do, that's the best route to go. But when they won't speak with us at all, we do what we have to do. And we've been very effective, I have to say, here in New York, our group. And nobody knows who we are or anything. It's amazing. We're sort of anonymous, but we've been very effective. And each of us have our own connections with different groups, and we bring all that to bear as best as we can for the general public. All the people that have been doing this, they deserve medals and stuff. But can't give them medals, but we've done other things. We have like a picnic that we did for everybody, and we do other things. We have Christmas dinner we do, and so we keep this morale up and like a pat on the back to all the supporters. But we do what we do because it needs to be done, and the general public doesn't know, and so we do what we can.
That's great, Curtis. Thank you for that. And any final thoughts, Curtis, to feel complete for today?
No, I encourage people to go to my website and get my book. I guarantee you, whatever you think you know, you're going to find things you don't know inside there.
That's right.
www.vaccinesaredangerous.blogspot.com.
I'm just going to put that again.
Yeah, www.vaccinesaredangerous.blog.spot.com.
That's great.
Oh yeah, you're really good. I've never seen a host that's so prepared as you are. It's amazing. Yeah, that's my website. And my first book since 2010.
Yep.
This is a total departure from all the serious stuff that I've always been dealing with. It's entitled In Search of a Good Black Woman.
Yeah, I saw that. This is a romantic comedy. Is that right?
Right. It's the it tells the story of an ordinary Black man who suddenly finds himself in a situation where he has 90 days to find and get engaged to a quote unquote good Black woman. Otherwise, he'll lose $20 million. So he goes on a mad search. And it won the Visionary Networks years ago screenwriting competition. Yeah. And also it was a finalist in the Vibe Urban World screenwriting competition. I was a finalist. And the other group, they, as part of my prize, they did a live performance in Manhattan.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And I was shocked and amazed that the audience was laughing from beginning to end.
That's great.
At the very end, people stood up for a standing ovation for my script. Yeah, only thing that happened was, thank you.
That's great.
Yeah, so far everyone loves the book. Huh?
Well, that's great. I have one other question for you.
Okay.
We've had Kevin Jenkins on the show a couple of times talking about health freedom issues in the Black community. What's your take? Is there compared to like nation at large, is there a different attitude in the Black community towards vaccines in general? Or is it just sort of everybody's an individual and there's really not a specific pattern there?
I'll say this. I've been at this for over 30 years.
I know.
So
Thank you.
I was going into community centers,
That's right.
projects, and giving lectures with different organizations, especially the Nation of Islam. And I've been doing lots of interviews, radio shows, cable shows, all kinds of things. So the Black community has an awareness about the vaccines they didn't have before. In fact, I gave a lecture years ago to one of the Nation of Islam's temples.
Right.
I think it was in Baltimore. And I found out later that as I was speaking, Dr. Ali Muhammad, who was the head of the health department for health group within the Nation of Islam, and I was told he was busily taking notes on everything that I was saying. And he admitted that over time, he changed his views on vaccines and implemented that within the Nation of Islam. And so I've given a lot. In fact, I remember one time I gave a lecture in Harlem, and Minister Louis Farrakhan was speaking, and then there was a question and answer period. And I came up and I introduced myself. My name is Curtis Cost. And the minister said, "You're Curtis Cost? The Curtis Cost?" And I'm like, "Yeah." But I was like, if you knew who I was, how come I wasn't invited to speak before the nation in one of his,
there you go.
500,000 rallies? But I guess that's coming at some point. Fortunately, he did have Bobby Kennedy speak at his national rally. But so I've been planting the seeds with the nation and with other groups for years. And then if you add to that Bobby Kennedy's efforts and all of his resources, and he worked with them, we did a lot. And so the end result was that the group least likely to take the COVID vaccine was the Black community. All of our combined efforts was such that the awareness was much higher than the general population. Which shocked me, because it was just the opposite over 30 years ago, where all the books written, except for one, I believe, written by white authors, which is fine. But there was where were the books?
Well, you're certainly a pioneer there. And so would you say there's just in general a healthy skepticism in the Black community?
Yes, much. I'm not going to say level of awareness is not necessarily as great for other vaccines as they are for the COVID shot, but definitely because we were screaming me bloody murder about the dangers of the COVID shot in the Black community, especially. So and of the statistics I heard, African Americans were the least likely to get the COVID shot.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. Well done.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Well, Curtis Cost, thank you. Any final thoughts for today?
No, thank you very much. I appreciate your work for a lot about you, from Shasta and She Worships the Ground You Walk on, and many others. And she told me you're brilliant. I know you're a brilliant researcher already, but she and others have told me so much about how great you are, which is fantastic. We need people like you out there. We really do.
Well, the feeling's mutual. I appreciate your tireless advocacy over decades now in bringing awareness to the vaccine issue and to these other kind of quarantine camp issues that you've really been active with, and for working with Bobby to bring these issues out and others out to light. So thank you, Curtis.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Curtis. Be well. Thanks for the time.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, very good. And we have wanted to answer a couple of questions that came in, and then we have our final guest for today. Really looking forward to speaking with him. And let's see, a question from Carol. What natural helps are there for combating a staph infection? Well, Carol, the general approach is not so much, is to help the body deal with whatever the challenge is better. And so this whole concept of herbal antibiotics, for example, is really used for convenience more than accuracy. As Charlotte pointed out earlier, herbs are much less directional than pharma drugs. But what I would say is, with any infection, supporting immune response is very important. So the basic combination I use, again, we're not treating the infection, so to speak, but are very much interested in enhancing the body's own immune response. It's a very different philosophy, by the way, is that there's some wonderful things that we can do for that purpose. And so simple things, if there's, so just looking at the diet, including herbs that, or nutrients and herbs that tend to enhance immune response and help the body deal with whatever the infection is. In this case, it's a bacterial. Things like garlic can be very helpful. And also, if it's staph infection, it's often a skin-related infection. So in some cases, most infections thrive in an alkaline environment. So topical apple cider vinegar can be very useful if it's a skin staph infection. In some cases, you could try it. It's just certainly safe to try. It's a very gentle remedy. And that can be diluted, typically 2 or 3 parts water to 1 part cider vinegar. But if the skin is closed, it's a very safe thing to do. It's not a harsh agent. The other thing for topical skin infections is raw honey. Internally, for sure, can help to heal and disinfect, in a sense, the gut. But topically, raw honey's been used for centuries for all kinds of skin issues, particularly skin-related infections and other things too. So that's a very useful thing. And then I'll give you my kind of dynamic duo that I've been used over the decades with enormous success. And I'll give you the links to that in the chat and show you what I'm talking about. But these are 2 things that are just good for everybody to have in their medicine chest all the time, in case there's any infection of any kind anywhere in the body, any sickness of any kind. These are just really helpful things to have around. So I'll give you the links to that and then show you what they are. And one is nutritional, the other is herbal. So the nutritional formula, which has been around since 1959, is Chondroplex. It's a combination of 4 formulas, RNA, Cataplex AC, calcium lactate, and Thymex. And this is just a good basic, phenomenally effective formula for supporting the body's own immune response. We're not thinking of like an antibiotic, kill this, kill that. This is it's a very different approach. This is supporting the body's own immune response. So Chondroplex, I typically, it's either 2 per hour as needed or 3 capsules 3 to 7 times a day as needed for any type of infection or sickness anywhere in the body. The complementary formula to that is an herbal formula, and this is Angiographes Complex, which is a combination of a few different herbs that work beautifully. So we have the echinacea root, again, not an immune stimulant, common misconception. It's an immune modulator, an immune facilitator. Holy basil is an Ayurvedic herb, Tulsi, Tulsi, and then a Chinese herb, Chuan Xin Lian, which is Angiographes paniculata leaf. And so those 3 herbs are wonderful for supporting the body's ability to handle anything any type of sickness or infection. So those are some specifics for you. I hope that helps, Carol, and good question. Again, in the nature first, drugs last philosophy, there's a natural solution to anything anybody might take a drug for at least 95% of the time. Richard's question is, what medical journals, in your opinion, are worthwhile and true enough to follow? Yeah, it's a great question, Richard. It depends on the subject. If it's pharmaceutical research, there's no such thing as, reputable or not much reputable pharmaceutical research, because 90% of that research is funded by the pharmaceutical industry. So, that's a concern. What I will say is I'll give you a website that I use regularly in preparing seminars and presentations and lectures here at the school, is the NNT.com. And it was kind of the response of a small group of physicians to all of the corruption in the medical journals. We just talked about this last week with Dr. James Thorpe, who's a wonderful physician. And again, thank you, Shasta, for that connection as well. And he just pointed out in some of the top editors historically and present day, and same dose, Mandy, typically 2 per hour or 3 to 7 times a day, depending on how sick you feel for the Enterographis complex. So typically what I'm recommending for patients, what I take myself, is somewhere between 9 and 20 a day, based on how severe the sickness is. So anyway, just to finish up this question, and then we're going to get to our last guest for today. Here's the website, the NNT.com. And these are just physicians reviewing medical research with no pharma influence and making it it's evolved quite a bit over the years, this website. And basically the NNT means number needed to treat. In other words, how many people have to be treated with that intervention for one person to benefit. And so you just put in whatever you're interested in. They've got color coding now, and it was very primitive when it first came out, and now it's a very kind of sophisticated, user-friendly website. TheNNT.com. But other than that, any of the medical journals, and I'm reviewing hundreds of studies every month for our school, for our students. It depends on the subject. So it's a very good. It really depends on what you're looking at. But if you're looking at Google Scholar, Science Direct, PubMed, it's just kind of grain of salt. If it's a drug that you're looking up, you may want to stick to the NNT.com. I found very good herbal studies, for example. It's not as a corrupted area of research that are in the mainstream journals. Not often, because they're very pharma oriented. The drug companies basically control the journals. But anyway, depends on the subject. I'm most suspicious, or as my kids would say, sus. It's very sus when you see drug studies published in any journal, because again, most of that is pharma funded. All right, you're welcome, Richard. Happy to help. So let's bring on our final guest for today. Again, just a reminder to join us at the upcoming Herbal Summer School 2026 with myself and Donnie Yance and Charlotte Keichel and Dustin Strong, August 14th and 15th. And we have an early bird going on for just a few more days. So please register now. Use your MWM discount code to get an additional discount on our annual symposium in botanical medicine. And it's for practitioners and the health conscious public. And you'll have all the recordings as well. So with that, I'd like to welcome our final guest today, Mr. Richard Hirschman. He is a licensed funeral director, and he is a certified embalmer. He's going to explain what all that means. And he has been very courageous in publicly speaking out about what he's been finding in working with those who have passed away, and finding all kinds of wild things in those folks who've received what we call the genocide jab, the murder weapon, the poison death shot. He was also featured prominently in a documentary I know many of you have seen called Died Suddenly. And he's very active on his X account at R_Hirschman. And let's give a warm Mondays with Michael welcome to Richard Hirschman. Welcome, Richard. Thanks for being with us today. And let's get.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it being here. I love your little comment about that question about the journals that you were just talking about. There was when I started speaking out, there was automatically right away there were hit pieces. One from PolitiFact saying that my story was mostly false. And that documentary Died Suddenly caused a gentleman by the name of Tom Havland
Hmm.
to decide to conduct some worldwide embalmer blood clot surveys.
Oh,
And he's done that for 4 years. And him and with the help of Laura Kasner and Dr. Daniel Santiago, wrote an actual paper on it. And the first place they tried to put it into was the PubMed preprint, I
hmm.
think is the name of the journal. And
Hmm.
I've learned a lot about journals here. I didn't grow up wanting to look at medical journals and papers
Yeah.
because they're very confusing. But
Right.
the fascinating thing is they rejected the paper and wouldn't publish it, saying that it wasn't novel enough, and apparently it wasn't of great concern.
Wow.
And if your listeners aren't familiar with what I'm talking about, I've been seeing abnormal clots coming out of the deceased. Now,
Right.
I do not typically know which ones are vaccinated and which ones weren't, but I know I had been embalming for 20 years
Yeah.
started in 2001.
Right. And actually, Rich, I just want to just some basic terminology for our listeners that may
Okay.
not be as aware. So if you could just differentiate what is an embalmer versus a mortician versus somebody
Funeral
who does
director.
autopsies versus a funeral director, just what does all that stuff mean?
Okay, a mortician can encompass both funeral director and embalmer.
Okay.
But most states, I think there's only one state in the United States that doesn't require you to go to mortuary school, and I believe that's Colorado.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so to become a licensed funeral director, a lot of states here in Alabama, it was originally you just had to do a 2-year apprenticeship,
Right.
pass a written test, and you can get
Right.
your license. Now you're required to go to mortuary school to get certified as a funeral director or go through school to learn that. But mortuary school
And
encompasses
Richard,
both.
keep going. I ran out of water. I'll be right back. But
That's
please
fine.
keep going. Explain all of this terminology. It's very helpful.
Sure. So funeral director and embalmer is what most people go to mortuary school to learn. After you're done doing that, you get certified. Once you pass both sections as a funeral director and one for embalming. And then you take what's called national board exams, and then you become national board certified. You do not have to be an embalmer. You could just go to school to become a funeral director. Most funeral directors, most embalmers are also funeral directors, because the embalmer portion of it is the more technical side, and not everybody wants to do the embalming, which is basically replacing the majority of the blood from the body using the arterial system, and then as they pump in the formaldehyde, the chemicals that help preserve the body, it's drained out of the vascular system. So embalmers are basically doing the dirty work in the back. They're the ones that are getting their hands dirty, and they're the ones seeing the blood. They're the ones that are taking care of the actual deceased on the embalming room table, preparing their body, getting them ready for the funeral director to then finish up with the dressing, casketing, cosmetizing, and all that kind of stuff of the deceased. So embalming is simply replacing the blood, preserving the body with formaldehyde, and in doing so, we run into blood clots. Blood clots are a normal thing that embalmers have seen. It is not necessarily, or it wasn't, something like clots were not one of those things that we dealt with all the time. Like everybody we embalmed was clotted. But it was something that we had to deal with, especially, from time to time.
And Richard, sorry, I was out of the room. So mortician versus embalmer, what's the difference?
A mortician is typically referred to somebody that's just working in a funeral home.
Oh,
A
okay.
mortician is not necessarily an embalmer.
Right.
And the embalmer is not necessarily a funeral director.
Okay.
But most embalmers are funeral directors because it's the most difficult part of the school, of going to mortuary school.
Okay.
And so some people can get a license to be just a funeral director. But most of the time, students that go to mortuary school, they spend all this time and money learning both trades. They go ahead and get licensed for both, because in a funeral home, you may be required to do the embalming. And
Right. And how long
so
is the training for all that?
it's usually a 2-year college.
Mhm.
You usually go to a 2-year school. So
Mhm.
it's not like going to a big university or anything. It's typically
Sure,
at a
sure.
community college.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
But
Thanks.
20 years of embalming, of starting off as an apprentice, of course, and then going
Right.
through mortuary school.
Right.
Once I finished mortuary school, I ended up going to work for a company, and I was hired there as typically an embalmer, and they have what's called a centralized prep facility or an embalming center. And a
Hmm.
lot of your larger cities and your large corporate owned funeral homes will
Right.
have a prep center where most of the bodies go to be prepared. And then the funeral home then comes and picks the body up to take them to the funeral home to be viewed by their family members.
Hmm.
It's not that way everywhere, but I was hired to go to work there. And we did, when I was there in 2005 up to probably 2008,
Right.
we would do about 900 to 1,000 cases a year
Oh,
embalming. So it's not like
wow.
I'm new to the embalming thing. So
Right. Right. Clearly.
I've embalmed thousands of bodies in my career.
Wow.
But in 2021,
Right.
I noticed something really abnormal, and that
Hmm.
was these abnormal white fibrous clots
Hmm.
that began showing up. In the
Hmm.
very, very beginning, when I saw it, I thought to myself, well, that's weird. It's
Hmm.
unique. I've not seen that before. But I didn't think much of it,
Right.
Michael, because, sometimes people have different illnesses, diseases. I didn't know. Maybe this person had something unique,
Right.
and it was something that was strange. So I kind of brushed it off. I didn't, I looked at it. I was like, wow, that's different. But I didn't spend a lot of time concerning myself with it
Hmm.
until as the summer of 2021 was rolling along
Right.
and it started to become quite frequent.
Huh.
And my concern was, holy smoke, something's not right.
Hmm.
Because you don't go from seeing something that is an anomaly
Right.
that you haven't seen in 20 years of doing this,
Hmm.
and then all of a sudden it becomes kind of normal. Something
Oh.
changed.
Okay.
Something changed. So that sparked my, oh my God, something's not right. And in September of 2021, I took my very first photograph of one of these clots.
Hmm.
That was huge. I mean, it was almost the length of the man's leg. It was probably larger than this particular one right here, which I removed out of the iliac artery. Now
So
this,
wait a minute. So Richard, so you're doing this is part of the embalming process that you discovered all this stuff?
yes, it was
So
yes.
what's happening there? So you're removing blood, you're putting an embalming fluid in. How do you end up finding and removing these massive clots?
All right. Well, in the very beginning, when we're injecting a body, a lot of embalmers typically like to use the carotid and the jugular vein.
Right?
I like to use the iliac region
Oh,
down near the
okay.
femoral area.
Sure.
The reason I like that area is because you don't have to make any incisions where somebody might be wearing
Oh.
an open blouse.
Oh,
And so you
okay.
don't have to see any incisions. There's nothing
For
to
open
cover up.
casket situation.
Yes. And
Gotcha.
so I've been doing that embalming in the iliac region for since probably 2004 or 2000, well, probably 2005. Starting in
Hmm.
2005, I started generally embalming from that region.
Hmm.
And so and it made it nice because sometimes family members come in and they bring in a very open, spaghetti strap type blouse or
Right.
something, and you don't have to worry about covering up any incisions. So,
Right. Okay.
so that's why I typically embalm there, but most don't.
Right.
But when we're embalming, we're pushing this formaldehyde through the arterial system,
Right.
and then it builds up pressure and it forces the blood to come out of the venous system, which is the vein
Oh.
right next to where we're injecting.
Oh. Okay.
The first time that I really recognized one of these white clots was I was having issues in getting fluid down the arm. And
Oh.
so sometimes what we could do, we can raise the axillary artery or the brachial artery up in this region.
Right.
When and I knew I wasn't getting fluid because a lot of times when somebody dies, their fingertips kind of become a bluish color from
Right.
mottling or settling of blood.
Yep.
And we're looking for distension. The veins are popping up as the fluid is going through and it's flushing the blood out. It's flushing the blood out.
Yep.
Anyway, I wasn't getting clearing of this arm. So I literally went and got the artery from underneath
Right.
the arm.
Right.
And when I made my incision into the artery, I saw something there that looked weird. And I took my forceps, which is like a tweezer,
Right.
and I simply grabbed a hold of that thing that didn't look right and I pulled it out
Of the arm artery.
of the artery. And that was
Okay.
the very first white fibrous in my face clot that I saw.
And when was that, Richard?
It's hard for me to remember
I mean,
exactly. 'Cause-
roughly, not the date, but like.
yeah, it was in early 2021. I
Oh,
would say
interesting.
probably I've said before no later than June, but
Sure.
I'm pretty certain it was probably even before May. It might have been in April. It might
Sure.
have been
Sure.
in
But the first
March.
half of 2021.
Oh yeah, definitely in the spring for sure.
Right.
The early, early spring,
Right.
by spring
Wow.
of 2021, just a few months after the rollout of the vaccine. And this is what's really interesting is because as 2020 was going along and COVID
Right.
was really starting to pick up,
Right.
I noticed an increase in clotting issues in general. But
Oh.
normal blood clots are red because guess what? Blood just so happens to be red or
Right.
purple or dark.
Right. I was going to ask you about that. You've been talking about these white fibrous clots.
Yeah.
And if you want to put any images on the screen, you can share.
Oh,
if you like.
yep.
Otherwise,
Yeah, well,
I can
I
do
do have, I do have samples like, I've got these vials right here. These are some of the
Wow.
smaller ones. Okay. And then, here are 3 different tubes that I have.
Whoa.
Okay. Now, these 2 long tubes are 20 inches long.
Oh, wow. So wait a minute.
And in
You
this
put
part,
it, yeah.
in this particular one, I'm going to hold it up close to the camera so y'all can see.
Wow.
It's folded in half. Because in order to get it in
Wow.
this tube, I had to fold it in
Oh,
half.
no
So what you're
way.
seeing is one clot folded in half, spiraling around each other,
Wait,
all the way down to the end.
so that's like several feet long.
Well, I can people aren't going to find this hard to believe. But when I first got that clot, I held it up in my arms to just try to get an idea how big it is. And I couldn't put my hands far enough and it was still sagging a little bit. I came to
What?
the house after I got home the next morning and I took a tape measure and I would estimate that clot was at least 60 inches long originally.
5 feet long?
Yes, 5 feet long.
What
And
the
then,
hell?
but if you look at it in this tube now, that ain't 5 feet long
It's
anymore.
folded
And
in
I can
half.
explain that.
Well, it's also folded. I mean, if you
It's
stretched it
folded in
out
half.
and right, and stretched it out so it wasn't curved.
But I would be willing to bet right now, if you were to
What?
open this up, it would be probably about 36 inches long.
Oh, jeez.
But-
So wait a minute. Okay, so just
Yeah, I
So-
know.
this is great. So first describe. So we've seen that. These are after the genocide jab was introduced. What do compare what you just showed us with a typical, like what does a typical blood clot look like?
A typical blood clot looks like grape jelly.
Oh,
It looks
Okay.
like grape jelly. And even in a post-mortem clot or an angonal clot, which is
Right.
a clot that's formed prior to the person dying as they're laying there bedridden for a while, you can get these things called deep vein thrombosis and angonal
Right.
clots. But again, even those clots are red in color. And because the blood clot has been pooling as the person is going through the dying process slowly, it becomes more gel-like. And you can pull out some fairly large
Oh.
clots, but if you try to manipulate them, they simply fall apart in your hand.
Oh.
So
Okay.
they don't hold their structure. But these things are totally different. These are totally abnormal.
So, Rich, I just want to be clear. You've been doing this for decades before the genocide jab was released. Had you seen anything like this in those 20 years or so
No.
of doing embalming?
Nope. And that was my concern. That was a huge
Wow.
concern, is
So
because
this is just entirely new.
right. And I in the very beginning, I've communicated with a number of different people. In the beginning, I found it very, very difficult that these were post-mortem clots. Because and every embalmer that I've spoken with
Right?
also would say that there's no way that these things that are so strong are
Right.
simply post-mortem in nature.
Oh.
I'm going to see if I can't. Well, these are not necessarily some of the best images. Let me see if I can.
I grabbed a few if you want me to put them
Oh
up.
yeah, go ahead, go
but
ahead.
if you
And
have
I
them,
can.
narrate, tell us what we're
Yeah, I
looking
can give you an idea of what normal might be, or I can explain a little something of what you show up there
at. Okay.
while
So
I
this is,
look through some of my images here.
yeah, I'll put up what I just pulled a couple of things. Like this is like a horror.
yeah.
This is like a horror movie. And by the way, folks, this is
It's like
we're
these
talking to
things.
Richard Hirschman, a very seasoned, what's the right term? Embalmer,
Yeah,
funeral
embalmer,
director,
mortician. It's fine.
embalmer, mortician. And this is the crazy stuff he's personally pulled out of folks who have passed away in the embalming process. Again, correct me. This is not my area of expertise. So correct me if I get anything wrong.
No, you're correct.
And so that these are all his images of what he has pulled out. I mean, that's crazy. So and from what you're saying is these are durable. Like you can pull on it, and then it just comes out of the artery, and that's what we're looking at.
Yes. That's exactly
Wow.
right. You
Wow.
can just
And this is
yeah,
a new
they stay together.
characteristic that they don't fall apart, that they stay together.
Right.
This one was crazy because it's so thick. Like what was going on here? That's incredibly
Yeah. Okay. Now this particular clot, I did not pull this one out.
Okay.
This one is not from me. It's from another embalmer that sent it
Oh,
to
okay.
me.
Oh,
But that is still
that's
the
insane.
same type stuff. If you imagine what's in this tube that I showed, the 19-inch one that I have, it's very similar to this, except you see there's some blood that's still attached to it because that just came out of the body.
Wow.
But when you rinse it off or you put it in just a 10% formalin fixative, the blood will eventually just dissolve off of it and you're left with that white fibrous material.
Now, a standard clot, like pre-2021, would not behave this way.
No, I'm
And
looking
you would
for
rinse, and it would just disintegrate if you.
it would disintegrate.
Wow.
I will
This is messed up.
I know I have some images in here that is okay.
And I've got this guy, these are thinner. And you're just grabbing it with a forceps and pulling it out of an
Well,
artery?
sometimes we utilize either angular forceps to open up the vein, or we use what we call a drain tube. And a lot of times they just start sliding out of the vein. They just slither on out.
I found this one for you, Richard.
Yes,
This is
yes,
the,
it's almost a shame that that's there.
Yeah.
I have an image right here. I'll share my screen.
Sure,
and,
sure. Please do.
And I'll give you an idea of what
This is
a
crazy.
typical blood clot would look like. I mean,
Oh, great. Great.
it looks like grape jelly.
What?
That's a typical blood clot. Now you can get them that'll be a little bit longer, but they fall apart. And
Whoa.
I don't know. Hopefully I don't show anything really bad on here.
This is crazy.
But you look at like this image right here and you
Whoa.
see these clots. If you see right there where the thumb is, I don't know if you can see
Yeah. No, we can see it.
You can see this strand of what looks like a whitish, rubbery looking material that's going down the length of this, and a lot of blood is around it.
Right.
So when you look at these images, you'll see some of that white fiber stuff is in there, even though it's still pretty dark and red.
So you would rinse it off and then it would become more white.
And here's one that came out already white.
Wow.
There's
So
some right there that came out just like that.
that's insane. So Richard, I know this isn't, just your opinion. Might any of these clots have been a contributor to the person's death?
That is my concern, Michael.
Okay.
My very concern was I was seeing all these abnormal clots.
Right.
And it's not just the clots. There's a lot of things about this that were abnormal. The blood is abnormal. The clots are worse than we used to see. They're very stringy like sometimes. They don't break apart quite as easily. Now we still see normal blood clots that do, it doesn't take much and you handle the clot and it just dissolves in your hand.
Right.
But sometimes when you manipulate them, you're left with what looks like little fine hairs or like spider web. I mean, if you think of spider web, you think of these nice little silk strands. I've seen that kind of stuff. But the most alarming are these things right here. Are these large things. These are in my face. Hey, holy smokes, something's wrong.
So how do you remove a 3-foot clot? I mean, where is it?
Well,
it has to be the leg, or like what's 3 feet long, or is it just spread throughout the body and it just sticks together as you pull it out?
This is recent. Okay, this is not from about that long ago. This is from earlier this month.
Early this month?
Yes. And now, and I've had this now for I've seen this condition a number of times now since January of 24, which is the very first time I've seen it.
Right.
In 20-something years of embalming, I had never had a body come in that was hooked up to an ECMO machine. And an ECMO machine is a large tube that goes down into the neck.
Right.
And it goes all the way around the body. And it creates what's called an ECMO circuit. If you look up ECMO circuit, you might find an image that will show what that looks like.
Right. And
it's when the deceased came in, and like I said, I've seen this now about 5 times since January of 24.
Right.
20-something years of doing this before, never seen it. I spoke to another embalmer, like I can't remember if it was about the Sunday before last, and he saw it and he had never seen it. You want to look at basically the what an ECMO circuit looks like, and you look at these tubes. Scroll down. Let's see. Okay, down to the bottom. Well, that's not a very good one. Keep going down. Let's go. I'm sure there's a better image that shows a circuit. It's going to look like a body, and it's going to show. Well, that's similar.
Like that?
That's similar. Yes, it's a very large tube.
Okay.
And it goes. It's to help the lungs. It's almost like a life support type system.
Okay.
And the deceased came in with this hooked up to them,
Okay.
and I had to disassemble it,
Oh,
or I had to embalm the body, and I didn't, I didn't know what it was in the very beginning. But anyway,
right.
I wish did you look up ECMO circuit
That's
diagram?
what this is, ECMO circuit.
Yeah, ECMO circuit. Yeah. Anyway, this large tube went, and there's different ways it can be done. Okay, see the one on the right there on
Yeah.
that's what it was set up like. The
Oh,
tube goes down into the neck, and it's a big long tube, goes all the way around and goes back up into the groin, and it's hooked up to a pump, and then they add oxygen to the blood
oh,
to help the body, to help the lungs. It's almost like a life support.
sure.
And it was set up with this.
Now,
And-
why did they still have that attached if the person was deceased?
Good question. Very
Like they
good
don't need
question.
it anymore.
No,
Like
they
it's
don't
too-
need it anymore. I think the reason why they did not detach it is because there's so much blood that's in that tube. It would create one heck of a mess
Oh, so they
for
let
the
you
body
clean.
to have that pulled out of them.
It's like, Richard will clean it up.
Yes, we'll leave it to the morticians to clean it up.
Right.
So that long clot that I got came
Right.
out of that tube.
Whoa.
That was outside of the body.
What?
That's this clot right here.
That came out of the ECMO?
That came
machine?
out of the ECMO tube itself.
That's crazy.
And at
Wow.
first I was thinking to myself, and the very first time I saw it, is this potential evidence that these things are forming post-mortem?
Oh.
Because I thought when they disconnected the machine that they would have to take it apart and then clamp the two pieces together so that the blood doesn't spill all over the place.
Right.
But then I realized recently, like within the last week or so, that that's not how this works at all. That the
Oh.
tube is a closed circuit.
Hmm.
And it's on a machine. It goes through a machine. The pump is literally squeezing the tube, pressing the blood towards the heart, opens back up, goes back, clamps down,
Right.
creates a pump like that.
Oh.
It's not literally blood going into something. It's using a wheel or some kind of a compression thing that allows it to push blood moving it in one direction.
Interesting.
And then
Yeah.
towards the neck, there's
Right.
this there was this little I have a picture here on my phone because I actually took a picture. There's the tube that I removed from the body in the sink. And then I zoom in here and you'll see a little valve.
Hmm.
And I think what that is where they connect the oxygen to diffuse that into the blood as it's going back into the body. So there is no disconnecting this thing. So I can't prove one way or the other anymore. Did this start forming while the person was still alive and this blood is being circulated around? Or did it happen post-mortem? I do not know.
Now, is that true of all cases? All the clots you've removed, you're saying theoretically all of them could have formed after they had passed away?
I believe it's possible. I do. I believe what we're seeing, and I have an image, and I'm going to share that with you real quick here. And this is going to be a very interesting.
Because it seems,
thing.
Richard, that something that big would have had to have gotten started while they were alive.
Yes. Well, yes.
I mean, that's a guess.
I want y'all to see this right here.
Oh, wow.
What I think we've got here.
What is all that?
Yes, I know. This is all from one individual who died. But I want you to notice, look how white and fibrous this stuff is. This
totally.
shiny black thing looks more like a traditional clot.
Okay.
Okay. But this stuff over here looks like snot.
It does. That came
There's
out of
blood.
the vascular system?
Yes.
What?
However, get ready for this. Now I'm going to zoom in and look inside of this snot. What do you see?
Oh, no way. It might be forming.
Exactly. It's in the forming. So my question or my thought was, did I happen to catch this as a part of a transitional stage from a hydrogel into a solid, fully polymerized amyloidogenic material, which we now know these are amyloidogenic clots.
Right. That's one of the questions that came in. Like, what is this stuff made of?
Yes. And we have a paper that actually was published.
Oh,
And
if you have a link, that'd be great.
If you want, I'll put it up here and you can look at it.
For sure. If you have a link, that would be amazing.
I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to go to the top of the paper so that people can
Sure.
see it. All right. Kevin McCairn in Japan is the first person to do Raman spectroscopy on this clot, on these
What's
types
that?
of clots. Yeah, it's a it's a laser analysis type machine. It looks at the signatures of laser signature of, well, let's see, it's non-destructive laser light analysis is what it is.
Okay.
I'm gonna get ready to share my screen so y'all can see.
Yeah, and if there's a link that you could put in the chat.
I'm not very good at that, but I can try.
Well, if you can highlight the URL in the browser window, top of the browser where it has the www dot whatever.
This says file user. Let's see. Oh, no. Well, I don't know if that's an actual link.
The link will be in the top of your browser where it has the address of the website. And if you could highlight that, if you could highlight copy and then paste in the Zoom chat. Otherwise, I'll look for it if I have a title.
Well, sure. The title is Raman. I'm
gotta
going to
spell
show it. I'm going to
Okay,
share my
show it,
screen,
yeah.
and that way
That's
y'all
great.
can see it for yourself.
Yeah, let's do that. I'll get folks the link.
Y'all will see it.
Okay.
Let me move my stuff around so I can. Darn it. Let's see. All right, share screen.
Yeah.
And just for your information, the latest Raman analysis was done literally early this morning.
Really?
Yes. And so we got even more information that we are learning now. And another analysis is coming out soon.
Wow.
Like the end, I mean, they're doing it again later this week or early next week. All right. So let me go to share.
Yeah,
screen.
if you want to share screen, that would be great.
And all right. Y'all see it?
Oh, there it is.
Okay, let me move this around so I can. How can I get this? Let me move this and open this up so it's bigger so I can see it. All right, so there's the paper. It was published in the International Journal of Innovative Research and Medical Science, IJIRMS, and it was issued July of 2026, just the first of this month is when it actually came out. This is the paper, and to be honest with you, the paper, in my view, was basically sugar-coated. Okay, it was sugar-coated. Do you see this okay? Michael, can you see the paper on there okay?
I can. If you just go back to the top, I just want to make sure I've got the right paper.
Mm-hmm. Raman spectroscopic characterization of anomalous intravascular fibrous cast, evidence for stage-dependent beta sheet enriched protein maturation. Now, what it's all pointing to, all of the analysis that we've done, it's been Not that I personally have done it, but those that have been researching this. It's all pointing to amyloid, which is what? Beta sheet enrichment.
Hmm. So if you
Okay.
just explain, just for our listeners, what all that means.
Okay. That basically means amyloid,
Which is?
misfolded protein. I'm going to stop sharing for a second because the people can probably understand this easier if I try to show this image of these things. And I know it's kind of simple, it's kind of crude, but we all know what this is. It's a
Yeah.
paper clip, and it is designed to do what? Hold paper together, right?
Mhm.
So our clotting in our body that we normally go through, we have these things called fibrinogen. And you have 3 different fibrinogens. You have a fibrinogen alpha, beta, and a gamma. And they work together into 1-to-1 ratio, typically is what they do. And what they do is they start to bind together to create a fibril or fibrin, which is this.
Richard, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is from Rapley and Shelton.
No.
No. Okay.
No. I know who you're talking about. They Bruce Rapley was one of the researchers that was a part of this work in the beginning,
Oh, okay.
and then there was some argument and discussion. So it's not 100% told. So he's kind of been
Who's the lead
went on
author?
on this paper.
Yes.
Daniel Santiago is the lead author. Greg Harrison, Dennis Planner, or Mark or Miklos Viras or Viras Miklos, Dennis
Wow,
Planner, and Mark File.
it is not coming up.
But anyway,
Yeah.
here's this.
Yes.
This is a fibrinogen. Okay, so imagine each one of these is a protein.
Yes.
Okay, natural state, normal. This is how it is. What happens is an amyloid is nothing more than where I lost it. I have another. Oh, here it is, right here. This is also a paperclip. But does this work as a paperclip now?
Oh, okay.
No, it does not work as a paperclip. Why? Because this paperclip has been misfolded, is no longer functional the way it was intended.
Yeah.
Now imagine you got a whole bunch of these misfolded amyloid microclots. And as they're running through the circulatory system, they get kind of tangled up into a mesh of other misfolded amyloid microclots. Now, our bodies create enzymes to help break down clots.
Right.
And the natural enzyme would come in and it would take a hold of these and break them up and make the clot go away after the clot has done its thing.
Right.
But those enzymes, because it's all done on like a lock and key type system,
Right.
they have to fit. And they don't know how to grab a hold of and take these things apart. It's like taking a key that you use for your lock. Your key works fine until you bend it out of shape and misfold it. Now you can't use your key no more. So you can't unlock the door or lock the door. You can't do anything. Now it's just a useless, misfolded clump of junk floating around. Imagine that's what's in the body. Now I'm going to go back to sharing my screen so y'all can see this paper.
Yep. Yeah, I put the link to the paper in the chat.
Okay, so there it is. Basically, white to pale, rubbery vascular cast. A lot of this stuff is interesting. It doesn't really talk much.
Right.
It talks about a lot of things. There's images that they were using from the actual report itself.
Yeah.
Those are the microscopic images. These are blown up, zoomed in that they were doing. This is the Raman spectroscopy right here. They're the analysis that was written. Okay. And they're using 633 nanometers, which all this is confusing. I don't expect most people to understand this. It's taken me forever to understand it a little bit. And I'm doing the best I can to explain this. They also had done amino acid analysis. Okay. The most important thing about this paper, which is on the PDF version, if you just go to the website and you look at it and you don't see this, go back to the front of the page and click on the PDF file. And this is what you're going to see. This is the actual report from, do I need to zoom in at all to see better, or it don't?
If you can, if you're able to do that, that would be great.
Yeah, let me see if I can. It's not making.
Oh yeah. So where to do that? If you go up a little, on the top bar there, go to the left. You'll see a plus and a minus. Keep going left.
Yeah,
left.
you're gonna
More
have to
left.
see,
I'll guide you to it. Just keep going left.
because I don't see it.
Yeah, I'll show you where it is. Let me just keep moving your cursor there, Richard. Let me see if I can track your cursor.
See, all I see is the stop share button. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, look at the PDF and see it. You
Oh,
see
here we
it's-
go. I see it
Yeah,
now.
that. Yeah, keep going on that. Just keep hitting that over and over again.
Is that big enough?
Yep, that'll do it. You can do one more. Yep, perfect.
Okay. I want to move this thing out of my way. Anyway, this is the report, and this was done under 633. There's some key information in here that's really, really important. Basically is showing these two samples that were gone under the analysis. One was more definitive or more structured than the other, meaning they weren't exactly the same, but they were both showing the same.
Okay.
The same pattern.
Right.
And
they're looking at the same kind of clots you just showed us that you've removed from people.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. They're looking at protein misfolding. Okay. Amide 1, 2, and 3 bands. That is, the amide 1 to amide 3 is basically showing an amyloidic aggregation. Something is, here it is right here. Amyloid aggregation. Both samples contain both structural elements, but different in proportions, meaning one was more definitive and the other one was in the process or in the stage of becoming more amyloid-like. Phosphorylation, sulfur content was found in there.
Right.
This right here is important. Waltz sequence recruitment.
Okay.
Spectroscopic signatures of aromatic amino acid, phenylene, blah, 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 tryptophan, trypsin can be found in both samples. This could indicate the presence of Waltz-like aromatic rich sequences. And most people, including myself, had no idea. What does that mean? What does that mean? You're going to need to this is important because there was a paper that was done, and I have it also. I can share my screen here in a second and show you this other paper, but I want to get to this, this last paragraph right here. The transformation of sample 1 to sample 2 is therefore not simple denaturation. Denatured protein would produce a broad featureless Raman bands, characteristic of random coil. Instead, S2 displays the opposite, a narrow, well-resolved peaks indicative of a rigid, highly ordered molecular assembly. The proteins have not merely lost their native fold, they have adopted a new thermodynamically stable architecture reinforced by the backbone, hydrogen bonding, aromatic packing, and electrostatic phosphorylation contacts, and covalent disulfide bridges. I know that's really hard to understand, but this last sentence is amazing. This combination of stabilizing interaction is consistent with a persistent, self-assembling, amyloidogenic scaffold rather than a reversible aggregation event.
Wow.
Extremely important.
Wow.
Now
Now, yeah.
I want to go. Oh wait, I need it.
And Richard, do you ever get the info on the vaccination status of the
I
folks?
used to in the beginning. In the very beginning, I
Okay.
did. And I was almost 100% accurate when I said, I bet this person was vaccinated. And in the
So-
earlier days, everybody was proud to show their vaccine status, and it wasn't
Right.
necessarily. But then what happened is everything started to shift. And now people didn't want to talk about it no more. I've
Oh,
had some that I was informed that were not vaccinated, but they had received a blood product within the number of months
wow.
prior.
Huh.
I brought that up to the attention of people like Dr. Ryan Cole. High
Hmm.
concern, highly concerning. And then we also had cases where the funeral director, and I only know this because the funeral director told me, because I asked the funeral director, can you find out if this person was vaccinated or not? Because I bet you this person was vaccinated.
Hmm.
And in one of them, during the arrangement conference, the funeral director asked the family, was the individual vaccinated? And one of them was bolstered, no, of course not. We don't believe in that vaccine. We didn't do this, blah, blah, blah. And so said, no, it's not vaccinated. Well, later on, another one of the family members went up to the funeral director and quietly said, just to let you know, they were vaccinated. And the only reason why this person said this because they knew that it caused tension within the family. So they just didn't tell the other family member that they were vaccinated because they just wanted to keep the peace. So they were vaccinated, but kind of in secret. Does that make sense?
Wow. So in folks where you knew they were unvaccinated, did you find these same things?
I can't say 100% because some people wanted to, some people didn't want to talk about it no more, and it became taboo to ask the question.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It became a problem.
Mm,
All right, so I'm going to share my screen again so that you can
sure.
see this. Let me know when you can see that. And this is interesting. This is immunoassay platform with surface enhanced resonant Raman scattering, detecting trace levels of SARS-CoV-2 spike protein. Okay. Now, probably can't see that very well.
You could do the same plus thing to blow it up.
I gotta get this little bar to be moved again so that I can. Oh, there we go. All right. Got it.
And I just need the title again.
Is that better?
Okay. Yeah, that is better.
And look at Raman. Okay. They used Raman, which is what we just did with these clots. It was Raman.
Right.
And in this, I want to point out a couple of things. Received 12 November 2021. Received in revised form 6 March 2022. Accepted 11 March 2022 and available online since the 17th of March 2022. Okay.
Wow.
That's important.
Yep. Right.
This
the
is
timing.
early on.
Right.
And what are they doing? And look, laser line using the 633 nanometer, which is the same setting that was used on the clots that we just did.
That's right. That's red light.
It's a yes. All right. Your Waltz sequences that I said, pay attention to those. Remember in that Raman analysis, in the actual report, it mentions Waltz sequences.
Okay.
And there
now, Richard, you just pop up to the top just for a second. I just got to make sure I've got the surface and hand. Okay, right there. Resonance, Raman scattering for detecting trace levels of. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Now, what's really important, see, this is the waltz sequences. This is where the waltz sequence stuff comes from. If people look up waltz sequences, they'll find
Yeah, it's in the chat.
that's where this is going to be.
Mm.
And there's the thing, the 1383 mark on the Raman spectroscopy, which is done. The latest analysis that was just done earlier today. Remember on that report, it looked like there were waltz sequences there. They went and dug deeper to find out, is it there? And it's there. And so
Wow.
here's the thing. I cannot say that it's the spike protein from the virus or the spike protein from the vaccine. That we haven't nailed down just yet.
Right.
But I have a feeling we're on the path.
Yes.
But we
yes.
know that it's in the spike protein. In the spike protein are amyloidogenic sequences that's on the spike protein, that's on either side of the furin cleavage site, which is also an inserted thing that was a big time gain of function type stuff. My concern my real concern is, so we all know now, I'm sure you're very well familiar, that the spike protein is the most toxic part of SARS-CoV-2.
Yes.
Then why, Michael, why are we putting mRNA into people's bodies to cause their body to create the spike protein that we already know is toxic?
Right. Right. Well, that's why it's the genocide jab. You know, it's intentional depopulation and injury.
Early on, here's a paper right here from the New England Journal of Medicine, published April 16th, 2021. SARS-CoV-2 vaccine-induced thrombotic thrombocytopenia.
Yes.
That's April of 2021.
Wow.
Here's from the American College of Cardiology. Vaccine-induced thrombotic thrombocytopenia, VITT, and COVID-19 vaccines, what cardiovascular clinicians need to know. Published June 8th of 2021. When did I say I started seeing these strange clouds?
Oh, okay. Early 2021.
Early 2021.
That's
and then
right.
there was a paper that was done. This is just another one that was done in August. But later on, PubMed there was a preprint. And it's that right there. And it says, SARS-CoV-2 spike protein induces abnormal inflammatory blood clots. That was published October 13th of 2021. So they knew the spike protein, blaming spike protein in general, causing abnormal clots. And they've known vaccine-induced thrombotic thrombocytopenia. It's all tying together. And what we're dealing with, now that we have a peer-reviewed published paper now,
right?
We know that these clots inside of them,
right,
that it's an amyloidogenic scaffolding. It is self-assembling amyloidogenic scaffolding.
Wow.
And we know that the Waltz sequences have been found within these clots, meaning that the spike protein is also in these clots.
Oh, wow. That's insane. Wow. That's remarkable.
It's frightening because there's a lot of people that I know. Some of them are injured by that vaccine. People that I know. And I sat and spoke. I had earlier this year, I happened to meet, and I won't disclose his name, but a gentleman from the CDC. And I sat and we talked in person for an hour and a half talking about these clots. He told me there have been people up there in Washington that have been trying to stop this thing from early on. But the prior administration They just made it impossible. What's sad
Oh.
is there's so many people that are in place, so many people are implicated in this thing. It's
Right.
still like trying to pull, it's like pulling teeth, trying to get
Right.
anything accomplished. I've spoken to RFK Jr. in the summer of 2022 about
Yeah.
these plots. I've
Okay.
talked to him directly. He knows about them. I talked to a
Oh,
gentleman from the CDC. Shortly after I came out publicly in 2022, I was speaking with one of my former instructors at the mortuary school who told me that the FDA had contacted them and they were asking them questions about me directly.
hmm.
So they never talked to me directly. They never
Wow.
called me, but they were
Hmm.
investigating who I was.
Hmm. Wow.
So they know, Michael,
Huh.
they know.
Hmm.
And how do you people going to find out if they have these microclots within their body? How are they going to know?
Well, D-dimer is a non-specific test.
And
for
it doesn't work
clots.
100% of the time.
Right.
There is a
Right.
test that you can do.
Oh, okay.
There is a test you can do, and you're going to have to basically do thioflavin T staining on a blood sample.
Whoa. If you,
Dr. Risa Pretorius and Dr. Kell in South Africa have been doing this. Dr.
Okay.
Jordan Vaughn in Northern Alabama has been doing this. And Kevin
Okay.
McCarran in Japan has also been testing this. And he's finding microclots. The worst cases apparently seem to be in the vaccinated. Why would
Hmm.
that be? Oh, maybe it's because the mRNA makes the body create spike protein.
Yes.
Maybe that's the reason. But it's also found in people that have had long COVID without the vaccine.
Hmm. Okay.
And so
Okay.
Kevin McCarran explains it well. The reason why we might be seeing so many different issues of the health
Right.
is because we have amyloidic microclots floating around in the body, in the circulatory system. It's in the plasma, and you don't know where those things are going to get lodged. If they end up in the brain, you'll end up with neurological issues potentially.
Right.
If they end up in the heart, you'll end up with cardiac issues. If they end up in wherever they end up. And Greg Harrison, he believes what we are looking at is a new phenomenon, which he thinks is a blood-borne amyloidosis. It's
Oh.
amyloidosis, but not of the typical conical sense of amyloid that we all already know about, like Alzheimer's and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Is a blood-borne amyloidosis
Oh.
circulating in the blood system.
Huh. Wow. That's incredible. So,
It's scary.
is that test you mentioned, is that available?
Kevin McCarran does it. Dr. Jordan Vaughn does it. I know, from what I understand, Risa Pretorius is working on trying to make it a standardized test
Okay.
to where people can do it. But if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong on this. It's as simple as getting it, but you have to use a microscope that can do the fluorescence stain, because thioflavin T is a fluorescent stain that they use to detect amyloid
Okay.
without having to get sophisticated equipment like Raman spectroscopy
Right.
equipment. They simply take a drop of thioflavin T and they put it on. You get a blood smear, like you're doing a finger prick. Put a
Right.
drop of it on the slide, put the cover slip on it or whatever, and then you put a little bit of thioflavin T, a drop of it, and it wicks inside there. And then what happens is when you put that under fluorescent lighting, it will light up green
Huh.
and show the amyloid.
Could you put the
issues
name of
there.
that test in the chat?
Thioflavin T? Well,
Yeah, if you could, are you able to type? Do you know?
yeah,
in
I
the-
think so. I'm just not very good at this computer.
No, that's all right.
See, go
If you're
here.
able to type, I just want to make sure I have it right.
THIOFLAVIN dash T stain. That's what you need to do. Thioflavin T staining.
Okay.
Here you go. There it goes. Thioflavin T. You look up that. Now, not everybody's doing this. This is the problem. You know, a lot of people, they go to the doctor and they find out, oh, we don't find nothing wrong with you. We got all these health issues, and we're trying to help people. I know people are trying to help people. In my opinion, Kevin McCarran is doing one of the best in Japan. He is doing a double plasmapheresis, and he's doing a stem cell growth factor treatment. The double plasmapheresis is basically using a large cannula, drawing the blood out of the jugular, and it's spinning out the plasma, and it's a double filtration. So they're cleaning, they're capturing these microclots, and they're putting your own plasma minus the big chunky stuff that's not supposed to be there back into your body. And then they're giving you a stem cell growth factor, which is not from, aborted fetuses or anything like that. It's they get it apparently from like stem cells from the teeth of children. When they lose their teeth, they are able to extract this, and they're not giving you the actual stem cells themselves. They're growing these things out of that, and that's what they're putting in there, which is helping the body to fight this. And I think they're on patient number 45, and the results are amazing. And it's really encouraging communicating with some of these people that have been seriously vaccine injured / long COVID, and they're finally getting relief. That is pretty cool. But back home, they've gone to every doctor, they've done all these tests, and they can't find nothing wrong with them. They tell them it's all psycho in their head, they're all having these issues. But then when Kevin McCarran or Dr. Jordan Vaughn here in Alabama does the microclot, the staining with the thioflavin T, they're finding these people have microclotting going on, and then they begin to rate that based on how much they see. And if those people that have the higher amounts of microclotting, those are the ones that are dealing with the most severe issues, it seems. So there is hope on the horizon for helping people. And I think, we need to, or they need to, or the people that powers that be need to make this a standardized test to where people can have their blood looked at and find out, is this going on? Because the plasma is throughout the body.
Right. Wow. That's incredible. So best guess, just to put all this together, Richard, the most likely thing perhaps is that the injections, and possibly you mentioned somebody got a transfusion from a vaccinated person. We've talked about that a lot on the show here with say the Safe Blood organization. And Clinton Ohlers, which is on last week, that most likely these are forming in the body prior to death and are likely caused by either the spike protein or more likely the endogenous spike protein produced by the body in response to an mRNA injection. That appears to be, and may possibly have something to do with the cause of death, depending on where the clot is. Potentially, it's obstructing.
That was my concern, Michael. I'm not a pathologist. I don't do the autopsies. I'm not a doctor. I'm not even a scientist. I'm just a mortician. An embalmer who knows what normal was, and I know this is not normal.
Right.
Now, my concern was this: I was seeing these clots in a number of the bodies. Remember, as 21 was going along, I seen it more and more and more, and it didn't seem to matter what the age of the individual was, what they died of. They were all these people having these things coming out of their blood system. And my concern was, I can't prove that this caused the death, but it made me concerned. Is this contributing to the demise of the individual?
Wow.
Now, did I tell you I went to the Tennessee Funeral Directors Association at the end of May?
Okay.
There was a let me get the little pamphlet. I got it up here. Here it is. The annual Tennessee Funeral Directors Association, May 31st, 2026.
Okay.
I went there, asked to go there by this gentleman, Tom Haviland.
Okay.
He's the one that's been doing the surveys and found that now over 75% of the embalmers are acknowledging these things.
Wow.
Well, we were there. I spoke to a number of morticians. Some of them showed me pictures of the clots they were removing from individuals. I
Oh,
met 4 people there that had adverse reactions after their vaccine. I'm
Oh.
not trying to pin vaccinated against unvaccinated. I
Sure,
think
sure.
we're all at risk.
right.
I ended up meeting a number of other morticians afterwards. There was one of the mortuary schools had brought in about 15 or 20 of their students. And after Tom and I spoke, about 6 of those students came up and discussed and talked to us directly.
Oh.
And 2 of the students were actually apprentices working in the funeral home. They were
Okay.
familiar already with the white clots, and the people that they were apprenticing under told them,
Hmm.
these are a new phenomenon. We used to not see these.
Hmm.
Later on that evening, after all the classes and everything were over, we were walking around the exhibit area where they have all these vendors. A number of those vendors were also morticians.
Hmm.
And guess what? They also have been seeing these
Hmm.
white fibrous clots.
Hmm.
While we were wandering around, the instructor to the mortuary school
Right.
came up to Tom and I and said, thank you for speaking out about this.
Oh, wow.
And I said, okay, well, thank you. But I have to ask you a question.
Yep.
You're acknowledging that these abnormal clots exist. And she said, absolutely. Yeah, we're very familiar with it. It's been being reported by a number of the people that are in our field.
Wow.
And then I asked, are y'all discussing this in the classroom?
Hmm.
And again, the answer was yes.
Oh.
And I'm extremely grateful, and really, truly, honestly, I'm grateful that she acknowledged this to me, because I've been attacked as a kook and a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, I'm sure.
And so I was really grateful for this person to tell me this and acknowledge that, yes, they know it, this, that, and the other.
Hmm.
But there is a part of me, Michael, that is heartbroken.
Hmm.
Because I've been speaking about this for almost, a good 4.5 years now,
Yep.
since January of 22.
Right.
And I've been ridiculed, mocked, called all kinds of things.
Wow.
And here's a person from a mortuary school acknowledging to me they're very familiar with this. They know it's an issue. They're
Wow.
talking about it in the classroom.
Wow.
Where is their public statement
Yeah. Right.
saying, hey, Houston, we have a problem here?
Right.
Where is the institution backing people like myself, John O'Looney in the UK, Brenton Faithfill in New Zealand, John McGee in Ireland, who sent me a video of these things that he's removed?
Oh.
Where are the institutions backing us? And
Right.
I appreciate the Tennessee Funeral Directors Association this was the second year that Tom Haviland spoke about these clots at their convention. So they acknowledge, the Tennessee Funeral Directors Association is acknowledging that this is an issue enough as to invite him twice to speak at their annual convention.
Hmm.
Where is their public, hey, Houston, we have a problem here?
Hmm.
I'm not trying to call anybody out. I'm just trying to say, hey, I'm trying to give somebody you allowed us to come into your forum and
Right.
speak to your embalmers and funeral directors.
Yep.
Everyone that I spoke to admitted to me they too are seeing this, showed me pictures,
Wow.
some of them sharing their
Did their
injuries.
pictures look kind of similar to yours?
Absolutely.
Oh,
100%. Exactly.
okay.
Exactly. The same type pictures I showed you and what you put up online on
Hmm.
the screen. The
Mhm.
exact same thing. They
Wow.
all know.
Hmm.
They all know. But where is the institutions backing us of what we're seeing?
Wow. Hmm.
Frightening. I'm sorry. I've taken too much of your time, I'm
No,
sure.
it's all right. It's incredible. Wow. So, any other thoughts that you wanted to share today, Richard, to feel complete?
Well, my thought is this.
Yeah.
I believe we're in a spiritual war between good and evil.
Mm-hmm.
And
The only one, we talk about that a lot.
I believe that this is far greater than anything. I know Anthony Fauci is going to be coming up on a hearing with Rand Paul.
Yep.
People need to stop putting their faith in man and trust in God.
Yep.
And you know, I personally, I'm a Christian, but I'm not here to try to push one faith or you need to
Sure.
get right with your creator, because I believe that we are all exposed to the spike protein, whether it's from the virus, the vaccine, or
Right.
even shedding.
Right.
It's all out there. Nobody
Yep.
is 100% safe of this.
Right.
Stop the division, stop hating each other.
Yep.
And I found it interesting how so many people were claiming or saying that the unvaccinated are the problem. It's the pandemic of the unvaccinated. They shouldn't be allowed to go to work. They shouldn't be allowed to get medical care if they have issues.
Right.
Now it's the unvaccinated that are trying to help the vaccine injured.
Yep.
Now it's the unvaccinated that are still trying to reach out and say, hey, Houston, we've got a problem. We need to work together, because I know you are at higher risk than I am, but that doesn't mean I'm not at risk myself.
Hmm.
We are
Mhm.
all at risk because of
Hmm.
this gain of function crap that happened. And we all need to come together, and this spiritual war needs to end. We need to stop looking at the top. This war is not it's not going to be won from the top down. It's not going to be won from the politicians. That's not it.
Mhm.
We the people. The vaccine uptake is minimal right now. And
Right.
why is that? Because everybody is waking up to what happened to them. And the truth.
Mm.
The
Mhm.
truth will prevail in the end, no matter what.
Right.
And so the lies will be exposed. So we need to get right with God, is my biggest takeaway. And there is hope for people.
Yep.
Look at what Kevin McCarran is doing. Peter McCullough, Dr. McCullough, I'm sure you have plenty of things that you're doing to try to help detox the body from this horrible spike protein.
Yeah.
And this spike protein is amyloidogenic. These clots are amyloidogenic. Is it an accumulation of these microclots? I kind of believe they are.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's amazing. And this is
Yes. Tom Havlin, Laura Kasner, and Daniel Santiago. It is amazing.
So this is an article on this study of the 800 embalmers where you guys all came up with the same conclusion.
Well, this right here, this article is highlighting the paper that was published the same day as the one on these clots. This is out there. This is Tom Havlin's work.
Yep.
There's some of the clot images that I provided to him so that he could put it in that paper.
Wow.
So this is showing there is a serious problem here. This is not just a few morticians that are speaking. More are staying silent. In private, they may tell you things, but publicly they're afraid to speak. And I don't blame them 100%, because along with becoming a public figure, you get criticized and attacked a lot. But
yeah, how has it been for you?
On one hand, mostly supportive. I can't tell you the number of morticians that I've spoken to thanking me for having the guts to get out there and say something about this.
Yes.
Whether
yes,
they were
well,
vaccinated or not.
right.
They appreciate that somebody is talking about it, research is being done, because they're highly concerned that they may have this stuff developing within their own body.
Indeed. Wow. And anything else, Richard, you wanted to just to feel complete for today?
Analysis is continuing. I think, again, the most important thing is get right with your creator. None of us make, as a mortician, I can tell you, nobody makes it out alive.
Right. Right.
Mortality is a thing, and we're all going to die. And
Yeah.
we have a future generation that's supposed to be coming up behind us, and we're
Yep.
supposed to be kind of like the heroes of old, you know? We're
Mm,
building a future for them. We're
yes.
building a future for them. And we need to
Indeed.
stop being so self-absorbed and be like, oh, well, I don't want to be this. You know, we need to work together and build and help build a better future. And we're not going to do it by just pretending this isn't a problem.
Yeah.
Because
indeed.
anybody that's out there, because I had this discussion earlier with Laura Kasner. She's got a few embalmers that are saying, oh, no, they've not seen anything that's abnormal.
Mm,
They've seen no difference. And I said, stop arguing with them. Send them pictures of this and tell them, does this look like a normal blood clot? Just ask them that question.
wow.
I mean, you're a doctor. Does that look like a normal blood clot to you?
Not at all. Not
Does
at
that look
all.
like something that should be in somebody's vascular? Like this
No.
19 one came out of the artery prior to me embalming the body.
Hmm.
19 inches. It's the
Wow.
length of my arm.
Oof. Wow. Incredible.
It's not normal.
No.
So yeah, be
Thank you.
kind, seek the truth and God, be kind and strive to do what is right.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank
Richard
you.
Hirschman, so much appreciation for you. I know it would have been easier to stay silent and just look the other way and not say anything, but really appreciate your courage and just saying, hey, this is what I'm seeing. You're not telling people what to think. You're like, hey, you should know this is what's coming out of people's bodies since 2021. And you need to know about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even if we found out it was all being caused by a bad batch of Doritos, we need to get those Doritos off the shelf.
That's right.
But I don't think this is a bad batch of Doritos because John O'Looney in the UK, Brenton Faithful in New Zealand, we've got Canadian embalmers up there speaking about it. We've got one in Ireland that's been speaking about it. And hardly nobody knows his name because censorship is real.
Sure is.
But this is not worldwide. If it was because of a food product, you wouldn't see it worldwide. What are the two things that have changed starting somewhere around the 2021 when we started seeing these things? You had the pandemic,
Right.
and you had the vaccine.
Yes.
Worldwide. We can
That's
narrow
right.
this down. We don't have to sit there and worry about
Yep.
whether we're eating bad Doritos or not. This is a worldwide phenomenon.
Yep. For sure. Wow. Richard Hirschman, thank you very much. Anything you want to share about how if folks want to stay in touch with you? I have your X. Is that a good place
Yeah,
for people to
X
follow
is
your work?
X is the place most people can find me, but I'm
Great.
shadow banned so bad on there. Most of the stuff, if I share
Oh.
things, it doesn't. I've got. It was kind of wild. I think I have like 78,000 followers on there, and I
Wow.
noticed that a lot with people that are truth tellers and that are out there fighting. Like
Right.
Dr. Ryan Cole's got over 100,000. I bet he probably has maybe 250,000, and when he shares
Wow.
something, it doesn't hardly get any traction at all. Why is that?
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So the censorship is real,
So, yeah,
but
for sure.
I'm sure you're censored.
Yeah, they shut down our whole school, deplatformed our whole school for saying, because they didn't like what we had to say about vaccines and COVID. So we've, had this firsthand. Yeah, but we got to keep telling the truth. The courage to speak the truth is the most important thing these days.
It's the only thing you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
In your faith.
Excellent. Richard Hirschman, thank you very much for being with us today.
Yeah, all right. Thank you.
Take care. All right. Well, thanks everybody for being here today. I know we had a marathon show, but we had some incredible information. I'm sure you will want to pass along to those you care about.